MC Pokémon, I can get a hundredfold return. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 176, Leaving with Zaozi. Emperor Yan appears. Zacian looked at Pikachu on Zaozi's shoulder. The blood volume was not very healthy and said, Zaozi, your Pikachu's condition is not very good. It's better to treat it first. It's still a bit far from here. Zaozi reacted, scratched his head and said embarrassedly. Zacian smiled lightly, took out the wound medicine from his backpack, and handed it to Zaozi, saying, take it. Since you are on a trip, you should know more about what to bring. You must bring an aesthetics, etc. with you. Oh, that's it. Zaozi took the wound medicine that Zacian handed him and put it on Pikachu. After a while, Pikachu's mental state improved and its blood volume returned to a healthy state. Okay, Zaozi, let's get ready to set off. It's going to get dark soon. We must reach Viridian City as soon as possible. Zacian looked at Pikachu, who had recovered, and said to Zaozi. Zaozi nodded, and then the two of them walked in the direction of Viridian City. In fact, Zacian originally wanted to fly directly on a Pokémon, but the Tyrannosaurus can only ride one person. Zaozi had just started traveling, and there were no flying Pokémon, so he had to go with Zaozi. Of course, there is another reason. Now that the quest to help Zaozi become the Rainbow Hero has begun, he must find the habitat of the legendary Pokémon, the Phoenix King. Although Zacian remembers the habitat of the Phoenix King, it seems to be on Chien King Mountain. However, Zacian does not know the specific location. According to the decision is yours. In terms of the plot, Zaozi was able to find Chien King Shen in the end, and he successfully obtained the title of Rainbow Hero. In this case, as long as you follow Zaozi, you will be able to complete this task. Treat it as if you were traveling through the Kanto region. About 2 hours later, Zacian and Zaozi finally managed to reach Viridian City before nightfall. On the next journey, Zacian and Zaozi passed by Nabi City, Eugene Cave, Hulan City, Deadleaf City, Ziyuan City, Golden City, etc. Along the way, Zacian also rotated the fully qualified Pokémons, all of which raised their levels to level 100, completing the final evolution. At this time, after Zacian upgraded all the Pokémons to level 100, Zacian also took a few Pokémons with him. Pikachu, Charizard, Menace, Koganinja, Bulbasaur, Rayquaza. As expected, it was what Zacian expected. After the green caterpillar carried the Stone of Immutability and upgraded it to level 99. After removing the Stone of Immutability and using magic candles to upgrade the green caterpillar, it also successfully evolved into Rayquaza. The transformation from emerging from a cocoon to a butterfly, no, from a cocoon to a dragon, was completed. At this time, Zacian and Zaozi arrived at Rainbow City. Along the way, Zaozi has grown a lot. Of course, this is also due to Zacian's teachings. Although this is just a game, being in this plot makes you feel like you have truly traveled to the world of Pokémon. Zaozi has now obtained 4 badges and the Rainbow Gym is the 5th gym he will challenge next. Of course, Zacian also challenged Zaozi to the very end. However, unlike Zaozi, when Zacian challenged the gym, he defeated them all with a single Pokémon. Pikachu. A bolt of lightning flashed. At this moment, in the Rainbow Gym, Zaozi looked at the situation on the battlefield, waved his hand, and gave an order to Pikachu. After hearing Zaozi's order, Pikachu turned into a beam of white light and charged towards the vine monster not far away. Vine monster, use the vine whip to attack. Seeing this, Gym Leader Alaja quickly gave the order. The vine monster extended 2 vine whips and attacked Pikachu, who turned into a white light. However, Pikachu rushed straight towards the vine monster without any pause. In an instant, Pikachu hit the vine monster hard. Upon receiving this powerful impact, the vine monster directly flew out, crashed into a large tree outside the field, fell down, and lost its ability to fight. The vine monster has lost its ability to fight. The winner is Zyozzy from Zenxin City. The referee's voice came from the sidelines. Great. When Zyozzy heard this, he immediately waved his fist and showed a smile on his face. Pikachu also jumped into Zyozzy's arms at this moment, shouting happily, "Well done, Pikachu," Ash said happily. Later, after Rainbow Gym Leader Eraja handed the rainbow badge to Ash, the second battle began. The opponent in this second battle is naturally Zacian. The result was as expected. Zacian did not spend any energy at all. Rainbow Gym Leader Eraja's Pokémon was instantly killed in one hit. For level 100 summer Pokémon, it is not easy to compete in a gym. After leaving Rainbow City, Zacian and Zyozzy arrived at Qianhong City. After challenging the Qianhong gym, Zacian and Zyozzy went to the Pokémon Center in Qianhong City to restore their Pokémon. After entering the Pokémon Center, Zyozzy contacted his mother Hanako and was scolded. When Zyozzy was scolded by his mother Hanako, a girl in blue short sleeves next to her covered her mouth and snickered. Zacian is asking Miss Joy for information. Along the way, Zacian was asking if there was any information about Shine King Mountain. However, unfortunately, no useful information was obtained. At this moment, a trainer holding Water EV suddenly ran in from the Pokémon Center. "Miss Joy, please put her away." The trainer ran to the front desk and said to Miss Joy anxiously, "Let me see." Miss Joy's expression changed slightly when she saw Shuaibu's injuries. The burns were really serious. Then, Miss Joy asked, "You were so seriously injured, what happened?" The trainer hesitated and said hesitantly, "We just met Emperor Yan." The center changed, and his eyes drifted away. After Zyozzy heard this, he also hung up the phone. When Zacian saw this situation, a flash of light flashed in his eyes. It is true that the Emperor has borne fruit and the plot should be about to begin. Then, many trainers gathered around and asked for news about Emperor Yan. He should still be around. I'm the one who conquered him. In an instant, many trainers rushed out of the gate and ran into the forest. When Zyozzy saw this situation, he was unsure whether to pay attention. He looked at Zacian and asked, "Brother Kai, what should we do now?" with a faint smile. Later, Zacian and Zyozzy left the Pokémon Center together and ran into the forest. Zacian and Zyozzy searched all over the forest and finally found Emperor Yan on a large rock in the middle of the forest. "I found it," Zyozzy exclaimed when he saw Emperor Yan standing on the large rock. Zacian's eyes flashed, and he looked at Emperor Yan. Emperor Yan's level was level 70. Fire Emperor. At this moment, a female voice also rang in Zacian and Zyozzy's ears. Zacian turned around and saw the blue short-sleeved girl in the Pokémon Center. The blue short-sleeved girl smiled lightly at Zacian and Zyozzy, and then ran towards Emperor Yan. Not good. When Zyozzy saw this situation, his expression changed and he exclaimed. Just as they were about to rush together, they were stopped by Zacian. Zacian said to Zyozzy, "Don't worry, that Flame Emperor is very strong, and ordinary trainers can't defeat him." Hearing this, Zyozzy also breathed a sigh of relief. Zacian's words still convinced him, because he clearly knew that the strength of Brother Kai in front of him was really strong. The blue short-sleeved girl rushed towards Entry and released her spirit. "Pokémon, it's up to you." After a flash of white light, Pokémon appeared in the forest. Pokémon, Foam Beam. As soon as Pokémon spat out the foam beam, the Flame Emperor on the stone directly attacked with a large amount of fire, evaporating Pokémon's attack. At this moment, another trainer appeared. Lucario, Missile Wave. Next to the trainer, there was a Lucario who condensed a ball of blue light in his hand and threw it towards Entry, but it was directly torn to pieces by Emperor Yan. Emperor Yan glanced at everyone and then left towards the depths of the forest in a few leaps. Chapter 177 The Legend of the Brave, Marshadow, the Guide of Shadows. Ah. How come Emperor Yan has escaped? The blue short-sleeved girl said angrily. At this moment, Zyozzy also arrived at the location of the big stone, looking at the direction where Emperor Yan escaped, with a trace of disappointment on her face. "It's your fault that Emperor Yan has escaped." The blue short-sleeved girl was a little angry and vented her anger on Zyozzy. When Zyozzy heard this, she was a little speechless, and then retorted, "If you hadn't caused trouble, I would have conquered him a long time ago, okay?" She raised her hips and snorted softly, "Really?" Zyozzy looked at the girl, feeling helpless. "What's that expression? Do you want to fight?" The girl seemed a little sad at Zyozzy's expression and hummed. Zyozzy looked at the girl, with a flash of light in her eyes, and said, "Okay, I'm Zyozzy from Zenxin City, let's fight." When Zaoshan saw this situation, he was also a little speechless. Zyozzy's image was still there. The same, nothing has changed. No matter where I go, the first thing that comes to mind is fighting. Then as you wish, I'm Siko from Shuangai City. The blue short-sleeved girl said. Then, she turned to look at the trainer who was treating Lucario and said, "Kit, after I defeat him, it will be your turn. Come and fight me too." Zyozhi also looked at the trainer, but felt that something was wrong. He turned to look at the blue short-sleeved girl and said dissatisfiedly, "What do you mean, after you defeat me? You?" After the trainer dealt with Lucario's injury, he put it back into the Pokémon Ball and said calmly, "Don't run away." The Chengzi girl said dissatisfiedly, "Yes, let's fight." Zyozzy agreed. Zaoshan also frowned at this moment, looked at the sky, then walked over, and said to a few people, "Let's forget about the battle first. Looking at the weather, it's going to rain. We'd better find a place to take shelter from the rain." When the three of them heard this, they also looked up at the sky. Sure enough, as Zaoshan said, the weather had turned dark, with dark clouds and thunder. Not long after Zaoshan said these words, a light, misty rain began to fall in the sky. "Let's go," Zaoshan said helplessly. "Okay." The three of them nodded. Then, the group of people walked deeper into the forest, looking for a place to take shelter from the rain. However, not long after the group of people left, Zyozzy suddenly saw a Charmander squatting on a large rock not far away. "That's it." Zyozzy ran over. The sudden situation also attracted Zaoshan's attention. He then turned around and looked. After seeing the little fire dragon, Zaoshan also showed a smile on his face. It seems that, no matter which world they are in, Zyozzy and Leo Zhi are destined to be together. This little fire dragon's condition was not very good, and its health volume was also very low. It seems that there was a fierce battle before. Moreover, it is only level 14, which is not very powerful. Just as Zyozzy was looking at the Charmander, a trainer with long brown hair suddenly walked out of the forest on the side. Beside him was a rock werewolf with a knight-shaped mane. And this little fire dragon is the weak Pokémon he abandoned. After arguing with him to no avail, Zyozzy could only hold the injured Charmander and seek shelter from the rain with Zaoshan and others. Soon after, everyone found a cave. After entering the cave and lighting a fire, Zyozzy took out the medicine to treat Charmander. Then, the four of them chatted for a while, and their relationship became familiar. When Chengzi and Zhangxi heard that Zaoshan was a powerful trainer, both of them had surprised expressions on their faces. At this moment, a group of Pokémon suddenly came in from outside the cave, led by Emperor Yan who had escaped earlier. "Enti!" they exclaimed upon seeing Entry, Zyozzy, Siko, and Saoji, showing surprise. Zaoshan, who knew the plot, was not too surprised, because he knew that, if Zyozzy possessed the rainbow feather, he would definitely meet Emperor Yan again. Emperor Yan ignored everyone's gazes, and instead led a group of small Pokémon into the cave, looking for a place to snuggle up, and keep each other warm. The three of them witnessed the scene of the Pokémon resting on Emperor Yan's body, and were filled with excitement. Enti, one of the three legendary sacred beasts, the Phoenix King's escort. It is said that 150 years ago, lightning struck the bell tower in the Johto area, causing a fire. King appeared and resurrected them, and they became Emperor Yan, Raikau, and Sui Lord respectively, representing fire, thunder, and lightning. They then disappeared from people's sight along with the Phoenix King, wandering the world. Zyozzy gasped in amazement, and recounted the legend of the Phoenix King, and the three sacred beasts. Phoenix King. Hearing this, Zyozzy also widened his eyes, and looked at Zaoshan. Saoji's words brought back memories for Zyozzy. He remembered that Zarshan once told him that the radiant bird spirit he met on the first day of his journey was the legendary Ho-Oh. Then, Zarshan took out the bright rainbow feather from the pocket of his clothes. This is it. Rainbow feather? Zhangji looked surprised when he saw the feathers he took out. At the same time, Emperor Yan not far away opened his closed eyes and looked as he took out the rainbow feather. In the shadow beside Emperor Yan, there appeared suddenly a pair of orange eyes appeared. Zarshan, who did not speak, noticed the movements on Emperor Yan's side. When he saw a level 70 Marshadow appear, a smile appeared on his lips. Sure enough, it appeared. Zarshan remembered that the trainer who obtained the rainbow feather would face the test of the 3 sacred beasts and the shadow guide, Machado. Now that Zylsey has taken out the rainbow feather, he will inevitably lead the fantasy Pokémon Machado. At this time, Zylsey also talked to the two about meeting the Phoenix King and obtaining the rainbow feather. After hearing this, Saoji told him the legend about the rainbow hero. Of course, Zylsey had heard this legend told by Zarshan before, but it was not as detailed as Zhangji's. Soon, the heavy rain stopped. When Zylsey and the three woke up again, they found that Emperor Yan had disappeared. Emperor Yan is gone. Yes, he has already left at dawn. Zarshan nodded and replied. However, although Emperor Yan left, Marshadow still stayed here. Zarshan saw the Marshadow get into Zylsey's shadow. That's it. Then let's go out, the Chengzi girl suggested. Subsequently, the 4 people walked out of the cave. However, just as they walked out of the cave, they saw a rainbow in the sky. Wow, it's a rainbow. How beautiful. At this moment, the rainbow feather in Zylsey's pocket suddenly emitted a colorful light. Zylsey was stunned for a moment, and then took out the rainbow feather. When Zylsey took out the rainbow feather, a colorful light suddenly shot out from the feather, leading to the end of the rainbow. What's going on? Zylsey said in confusion. This should be the rainbow feather starting to lead you, Zylsey. Zarshan said with a smile. Yes, I heard that the end of the rainbow seems to be Shanking Mountain, and Shanking Mountain is in the Yunying Mountains. At this moment, Zhangji on the side took out the smart map and searched for it. That's it. Well, let's quickly head towards Shanking Mountain. Zylsey encouraged and said excitedly. Seeing this situation, Saoji and Siko shook their heads helplessly. Zarshan just smiled lightly, which was actually in line with Zhizhi's character. However, at this moment, a pair of orange eyes suddenly appeared in the shadow at Zylsey's feet, staring at the rainbow feather in Zylsey's hand. Is the test about to begin? Zarshan saw a flash of light in his eyes when he saw Marshadow appear again. Then, the 4 of them followed the direction guided by Rainbow Feather and walked towards Shanking Mountain. Shanking Mountain, which is said to be one of the habitats of the Phoenix King, is located in the Yunying Mountains. The Yunying Mountains are located deep in the Quartz Plateau. Quartz Plateau is an iconic location in the Kanto region, and on the way to Quartz Plateau, there is more than just a championship route. The Alliance headquarters in the Kanto region is also located on Quartz Plateau. Not only that, after crossing the Quartz Plateau, you can also reach the Johto area that borders the Kanto area. The Kanto region and the Johto region are very close. In fact, only a mountain range separates them. And that mountain range is the Silver Mountain Range, where the strongest trainer in history, Kai Hong, lives in seclusion. Chapter 178 Shankingshan, following in the footsteps of the Phoenix King. Please vote for me. During the next journey, Zarshan and Zylsey headed towards Shanking Mountain and the Yunying Mountains. As Zylsey moved forward, he was constantly fighting against other powerful trainers and wild Pokémons. At this time, Zarshan and others were in a large forest at the foot of the Yunying Mountains. The book The Phoenix King is My Life says that those who have experienced the trial of the 3 sacred beasts will meet the legendary Pokémon Phoenix King at the top of Shanking Mountain in the walking team, as he said. Is that so? Then we met Entei and Sujin before. Zylsey should have passed his trials, right? The Chengzi girl asked. No, not yet. The last sacred beast hasn't appeared yet. And besides the trial of the 3 sacred beasts, there's also the trial of the shadow guide. Zarshan suddenly said. After hearing what Zarshan said, Zyozzy and the other 3 people were full of doubts. Seeing the appearance of the 3 of them, Zarshan smiled and then explained, I don't know if you've noticed that, since the last time I met Emperor Yan in the cave, Zyozzy has been followed by a little thing. Later, Zyozzy didn't. He dreamed of going to a world without Pokémon. Actually, that dream was also a test for Zyozzy. Then, they walked out of the forest and saw Shining Mountain in the distance. At this moment, the rainbow feather in Zyozzy's hand emitted a ray of light in the direction of Shining Mountain, guiding him in that direction again. That's Shining. When Zyozzy and others saw Shining's appearance, their faces showed excitement. Seeing this, Zarshan let out a sigh of relief. In this case, he should be able to complete this rainbow heroine mission very quickly. Along the way, Zarshan and others saw a large group of badder butterflies preparing to migrate south. Wow, what's going on? Chengzi was surprised. This is the courtship season for butterflies. After they find a mate, they will go south to live together. Saoji explained. Baby butterfly? Zyozzy looked at the big butterfly flying in the sky and remembered that he also had a big butterfly. After hesitating for a moment, Zyozzy released Baddie. Zyozzy said to Baydady, go find your love. Baydady looked at Zyozzy for a long time, nodded, and then flew into the air to find love. Soon after, Baddie found a pink baddie. At this moment, Zyozzy's Baddady came to bid farewell to Zyozzy with his love. Goodbye, Baddie. Zyozzy bid farewell to Baddie with a look of reluctance. After Zyozzy's Baddie left, Zarshan, Zyozzy, and their group hit the road again. And just as they reached the mountainside, Zyozzy's Pikachu suddenly reacted with electricity. What's going on? Ash looked at Pikachu in surprise. Saoji and Seiko also had bewildered faces. Zarshan's eyes moved, and then he said with a smile, this is Zyozzy's test. Look, the Lord of Thunder has appeared. Following the direction of Zarshan's finger, the 3 of them looked over. Then, they really saw a thunder god standing on the cliff. It's really the Lord of Thunder. Zyozzy and others looked shocked. But soon, all thunder and lightning flashed across, and the thunder god's figure disappeared from everyone's eyes. The Lord of Thunder has disappeared? Since Zarshan knew the plot, he continued to explain to Zyozzy and the others. You should have recognized Zyozzy. I also know his character. I like Pokémons a lot, but I'm quite reckless. Hearing Zarshan's remarks, the girls Seiko and Saoji laughed. Brother Kai. Zyozzy also looked at Zarshan with dissatisfaction. Zarshan didn't care and smiled lightly. Then, they continued walking forward, but they were shocked to find that the wild Pokémon around them were all restless. What's going on? Why are these wild Pokémon so uneasy? Zyozzy and the others looked at the Pokémon around them with puzzled expressions. When Zarshan saw this situation, he was also a little confused. They're so restless because of the Phoenix King's influence. Just as Zarshan, Zyozzy, and the others were confused, a voice suddenly rang in Zarshan and the others' ears. Zarshan turned around and saw an old man squatting on a rock not far away. Master Fan. Zarshan simply smiled and didn't say anything. The old man had a long beard and was wearing a red and white peaked cap. Then, the old man jumped off the rock, walked over to Zyozzy and the others, and said, these gathered Pokémon actually want to obtain a bit of power from the Phoenix King. The old man said, using his nose. After smelling it, he said, although it is very light, this is indeed the breath of the Phoenix King. Zyozzy was shocked by this, and then took out the rainbow feather from his pocket and said, is this when the old man? The man saw the feather in Zyozzy's hand. His eyes widened with disbelief on his face. Is this the rainbow feather? Hey, do you know? The girl Chengzi was also a little surprised. Zhangxi looked at the old man for a long time and finally recognized him. Saoji pointed at the old man and exclaimed, he is the author of the book How Is My Life. The name seems to be, when the old man saw someone recognize him, a hint of astonishment flashed in his eyes, and then he smiled. Then he said, you can call me Master Fan. I, in the past 20 years, have been searching for traces of the Phoenix King. After hearing what Master Fan said, Zyozzy and the 3 of them stared in surprise. At this moment, Zarshan, who was silent, suddenly noticed something that seemed to be in the black shadow not far away. Zarshan frowned and suddenly thought, there seems to be a villain and it's you. However, he didn't seem to be a very bad person. After thinking about it, Zarshan decided to ignore it. Let the plot develop naturally. Yes, I calculated various data and speculated that the Phoenix King might appear on this mountain, so I came here to confirm. Master Fan said to Zaozi and the others with a smile. Ah. So, why don't you come with us? The little girl Chengzi said, yes, we are going to see the Phoenix King next. Yes. Master Fan nodded when he heard this. He looked at the bright rainbow feather in Zaozi's hand and felt a sense of excitement. Speaking of which, this kind of light is as bright as when I was young. For an old man like me, it's really too dazzling. Afterwards, the people called Fanyi, Zaozi and others looked up at the sky, walked together to the top of the Green Mountain. Along the way, Lord Fan told them that the reason they met the Yan Emperor, Shua Lord and Thunder Lord was because of the Phoenix King. The three sacred beasts want to confirm with their own eyes whether Zaozi has the qualifications to become a rainbow hero. By the way, there should be a shadow guide following you. Yes, I feel the same way. When Zarshan told Zaozi earlier, Zaozi also started to pay attention. Then, Zaozi discovered there were clues, as if there was something hidden in its shadow. When Master Fan heard this, he also smiled lightly and said, that might be the illusory Pokémon, Marshadow. Master Fan then told everyone the legend of the Shadow Guide. Although everyone has heard Zarshan mention it once before, it was only briefly mentioned, and was not very detailed. At this moment, upon hearing Master Fan's narration, Zaozi and others also understood the entire legend. Not long after, Zaozi and his group finally arrived at the top of Shine King Mountain. Zhi, you can see the top of the mountain. Zarshan suddenly remembered. Yes. Zaozi nodded when he heard Zarshan's words, and then took out the rainbow feather that he carried with him. Then, the rainbow feather in Zaozi's hand burst with light, turning into a beam of light and shooting towards the top of Shine King Mountain. At the top of the mountain, there is a huge rock that emits light like an ordinary crystal under the irradiation of light. The rainbow flowers on the rainbow rock are in full bloom. Master Fan looked at the radiant rock not far away with excitement on his face. This is a sign that the Phoenix King will appear. The 4th update is complete, and I have kept my promise. PS. Please vote for me. The previous rules still apply. Chapter 179, Marshadow watching the show. Cross turning into a black man. I can't wait any longer. Let's go. Pikachu. Zaozi looked at the rainbow colored rock not far away, showing an excited look, and then called Pikachu towards the rainbow on the top of the mountain. Xian ran away. Ah. Wait a minute. The little girl Chengzi was also a little helpless. As a last resort, the girl Siko and Saoji chased after him. Seeing this situation, Zarshan just smiled lightly, then looked at Master Fan and asked curiously, so you have been searching for so long, and are about to see King Feng. How do you feel, Master Fan? Hearing this, he stroked his white beard and laughed loudly. Time flies like an arrow, and the rainbow is fleeting. Young people should hurry up. Master Fan's eyes fell on the rainbow-colored sky towards the top of the mountain. Then he chased after him. When Zarshan saw this situation, his eyes flashed slightly, and he thought to himself, that's not right. Logically speaking, since Master Fan has been looking for King Feng for so long, he must have something related to King Feng. Could it be that the way I opened it is wrong? Or is there really no quest for Master Fan? The reason Zarshan talked to him was to see if he could trigger a quest. However, now it seems that the effect is not ideal. Soon after, Zarshan followed Zaozi and his group and finally arrived at Rainbow Rock. At this moment, on the cliffs surrounding the iridescent rock that exuded light like crystal, a group of various Pokémons were circling. All of these Pokémons were attracted by the Phoenix King's aura, and all of their levels were in the 40s or 50s, so their strength was quite good. Are you going to put the feathers on the Rainbow Rock? Zhangxi looked at the Rainbow Rock not far away with some confusion. Not bad. Master Fan stroked his beard and nodded. I'll try it. Zyozzy took out the rainbow feather from his pocket, then said to the others, and then walked towards the rainbow rock. However, just as Zacian was about to leave, he was stunned. Zyozzy was about to reach Rainbow Rock. A red flame roaring tiger roared and suddenly jumped out from behind Rainbow Rock. Then, it waved its concentrated energy fist and attacked Zyozzy. This sudden change also made Zyozzy stunned for a moment, unable to react. However, the red flame roaring tiger had no intention of harming Zyozzy. It just wanted to force Zyozzy back, and its fists hit the ground heavily. The impact caused Ash and Pikachu to fly backwards, landing in front of the girls Seiko and Saoji. What's going on? Saoji and Seiko looked bewildered, and even Master Fan looked confused. Zacian's eyes flashed, and fell on the back of the rainbow-colored rock. At this moment, a young man with orange-brown hair walked out from behind the rainbow-colored rock. Zacian actually remembered that this was the trainer who had abandoned Charmander before. Later, Zyozzy seemed to have lost to the opponent in the battle, and his strength was quite good. Moreover, when they were halfway up the mountain, this guy might have been following them. Ah, it's you. Cross, what do you want to do? Zyozzy also recognized the boy, and said with a surprised face. The boy named Cross looked at the rainbow feather in Zyozzy's hand and said coldly, hand it over. The only one who is qualified to fight King Ho is me as the strongest trainer. Crossen said, yes, the only ones who are qualified to fight King Phoenix are the rainbow heroes chosen by him. The girl Seiko also agreed. Too naive. There is only one truth in the world. That is power. Hearing this, Cross pursed his lips in disdain and said lightly, what about your so-called weaklings? Zyozzy said unconvincedly, it's all rubbish. Cross said, what about the defeated people? Zyozzy continued to ask. Cross was a little impatient after Zyozzy asked him and scolded, not even as good as trash. Zyozzy clenched his fists tightly, with a dissatisfied expression on his face. No matter what I think, I can't lose. For you, guy. When he lost command of the fire dinosaur to this trainer named Cross, Zyozzy always kept this in mind. Zacian looked at Cross, and touched his chin. Why did he think that the man named Cross was right? At this moment, the rainbow feather in Zyozzy's hand suddenly bloomed with light again. As the rainbow feathers shone, a pair of orange eyes suddenly appeared on Zyozzy's shadow. Then, it appeared in Zyozzy's surprised eyes. Are you, Marshadow? Zyozzy said blankly. It's the Pokémon I saw that night. I didn't expect it to be so cute. Saoji and Seiko looked surprised. Is he the shadow guide? Cross, on the other side, also looked surprised when he saw Marshadow. Masha glanced at Zyozzy, then jumped onto the big rock next to him, silently observing the situation on the field. It seems that Marshadow is going to sit back and watch. At this moment, Master Fan, who had been in, after being silent until now, he suddenly spoke. Hearing this, Zyozzy gritted his teeth, then took out the fire dinosaur's Poké Ball, and threw it over. Fire dinosaur, it's up to you to decide. The Pokémon ball drew an arc in the air, and then a white light flashed, and the fire dinosaur, that evolved from Charmander appeared in front of everyone. Red flame roaring tiger, spray flames. Seeing this situation, Cross on the opposite side sneered, and then ordered. Charge forward, fire dinosaur, use split. Zyozzy waved his hand and said, bang. The fire dinosaur half tilted its body and rushed forward, dodging the flames of the red flame roaring tiger. It extended its sharp claws and slashed hard at the red flame roaring tiger's body. After receiving this blow, the red flame roaring tiger screamed and showed a pained expression. This is hell. Cross's expression changed, and he ordered again. The red flame roaring tiger heard the order, became spirited, and launched an attack on the fire dinosaur. However, the fire dinosaur was very fast. After several consecutive jumps, it avoided the red flame roaring tiger's attack. Use split. Zyozzy saw this and quickly ordered. Subsequently, the fire dinosaur and the flame roaring tiger began a fierce battle. Moreover, the fire dinosaur successfully evolved into a fire-breathing dragon during the battle, and its strength was greatly improved. Finally, thrown by the fire-breathing dragon to the ground, the red flame roaring tiger lost its fighting ability and fell in front of Cross. How is this possible? Cross looked at Charizard blankly, his face full of disbelief. We won, Charizard. Zyozzy happily touched Charizard's head. After winning the battle, Zyozzy took out the rainbow feather again, and then walked towards the rainbow rock, wanting to place the feather on the rainbow rock. Cross, who was unwilling to accept it, suddenly said, "I've also met the Phoenix King." Hearing this, Zyozzy stopped and turned to look at Cross in surprise. When he said this, everyone was stunned for a moment. But I didn't get the rainbow feather. In order to become the strongest trainer, I did everything I could. Cross clenched his fist tightly. I just don't understand. Why is it you? Since the Phoenix King doesn't agree with me being the strongest, then I will defeat him. Cross stood up, turned around, and stared at Zyozzy with gritted teeth. Cross, I, like you, want to become stronger. But, after working together with everyone to come here, I understand that becoming stronger is not the only purpose. Then why are you fighting? Cross said through gritted teeth. It's to make friends with them. Zyozzy raised his head and said with a smile. Cross was immediately stunned by these words. Not just the Phoenix King, we want to be friends with all Pokémon. This is the purpose of the battle. Zyozzy said firmly. Cross glanced at Zyozzy, feeling unconvinced, then ran towards Zyozzy and grabbed his hand. While Zyozzy wasn't paying attention, he snatched the rainbow feather from Zyozzy's hand and then ran towards the rainbow rock. Ah, no. Seeing this scene, Master Fan's expression suddenly changed. He exclaimed and ran towards the rainbow rock. Chapter 180 Rainbow Feather? I have one more. When Saoji and Seiko saw this, they also rushed over with Lord Fan. However, at this moment Cross had climbed to the top of Rainbow Rock and placed the rainbow feather on it. Hurry up and appear, Phoenix King. As Cross shouted, a purple-black pillar of light suddenly rose into the sky from the iridescent rock. At this moment, the iridescent feathers that were originally emitting colorful light gradually turned purple and black as the purple-black pillar of light appeared. The windy and sunny sky also darkened at this moment, as if something dark was about to appear. Immediately afterward, the entire colorful iridescent rock gradually began to turn black. What's going on? Zyozzy and others looked at everything in front of them in surprise. If an evil mind touches the rainbow feather, it will lose its luster. Master Fan said with a solemn expression at this moment. Just as everyone was stunned, Machado, who had disappeared, suddenly moved to Rainbow Rock. Then, he pushed Cross who was standing on top of it. Machado will seal everything and correct everything. Master Fan looked at Machado's movements, his face becoming more solemn. After pushing Cross away, Machado picked up the black and iridescent feather. I'm going to beat you too. Cross, who didn't seem convinced, gritted his teeth and said bitterly. He then unleashed his Man-Rock Werewolf. Man-Rock Werewolf, Ripclaw. Hearing the order, the Man-Rock Werewolf rushed towards Machado on the iridescent rock. However, after obtaining the black and rainbow feather, Machado's aura continued to rise. He simply glanced lightly at the Man-Rock Werewolf, waved his hand, and a black aura bombarded the Man-Rock Werewolf. The Man-Rock Werewolf was bombarded by the black aura and froze on the spot. Then, the Man-Rock Werewolf suddenly had a vicious look in its eyes, turned its head, and attacked Cross directly. What's going on? Chengzi and others exclaimed. He's being manipulated by Machado. Master Fan's expression changed slightly. To make humans and Pokémon incompatible. Just as Cross was about to be hit by the Man-Rock Werewolf's attack, Ash's Charizard suddenly stood in front of Cross and blocked the attack for him. Why? Cross looked on in disbelief. Because he hasn't forgotten you. He still remembers that you were his trainer. Chengzi said excitedly. That's how this guy is, he values friendship. Zyozzy also said with a smile. However, at this moment, Machado on the iridescent rock suddenly emitted a darker aura, rushing towards the Pokémon on the surrounding rock walls. After being enveloped by the dark atmosphere, those Pokémon became as cruel as the main rock werewolves, staring at Zyozzy and the others fiercely. Zyozzy and others stared at the Pokémon surrounding them. Machado plans to eliminate all of you together. Master Fan spoke again at this moment. No way. Zyozzy and others exclaimed. the matter has come to an end, and the Phoenix King will never appear again. Zyozzy and others looked at the fierce Pokémon surrounding them with solemn expressions. We must take back the rainbow feather. It is the rainbow feather that gives Masha so much power. Only Zyozzy, who was chosen by the Phoenix King, can do this. Master Fan said. Zyozzy. At this moment, Zacian, who had been silent, also walked over. He knew that it was his turn to appear. He looked at everyone, smiled, and said, "No need." As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned. As for the rainbow feather, I still have one here. After saying that, Zacian took out the rainbow feather that had been stored away for a long time from his backpack, and handed it to Zyozzy. Ah. This. How is it possible? Master Fan was dumbfounded when he saw this scene, with an expression of disbelief on his face. There should be only one iridescent feather, but how come this young man, who is so humble and low-key, actually has an iridescent feather on his body? Even Siko, Saji, Cross, and Ash had shock on their faces. Brother Kai, are you also the one chosen by the Phoenix King? Zyozzy looked at the rainbow feather in Zacian's hand, and said in surprise, "Go, let me deal with Marshadow and these Pokémon." Zacian didn't explain too much, and stuffed the rainbow feather into Zyozzy's hand. Now he understood why this mission was activated. He remembered that in the movie version, Zyozzy seemed to have failed once to retrieve the rainbow feather. I'm afraid the main purpose of this mission is to protect Zyozzy from safely summoning the Phoenix King. Thinking of this, Zacian also smiled lightly. These little brats might find it difficult to deal with Marshadow and this group of manipulated Pokémon. However, it is extremely simple for him. So, Zacian released his 6 Pokémon in front of everyone's shocked eyes. Gardevoir, Charizard, Menus, Koganinja, Bulbasaur, and the shiny black Rayquaza. Gardevoir, Mental Strength. Charizard, Hot Wind. Menus, Surfing. Koganinja, Flying Water Shuriken. The attack erupted from Zacian's 6 Pokémon, attacking Machado and the group of blackened Pokémon. For the level 100 summer Pokémon, hitting Machado and these blackened Pokémon is like hitting a child. In an instant, under the sweep of Zacian's 6 Pokémon, most of the blackened Pokémon fell down. Even those that were still standing were already half disabled. Marshadow was also more alert. After seeing the terrifying auras of these 6 Pokémon, he quickly dove into the ground. Therefore, the previous attack did not attack Machado. However, this is not a problem at all for Zacian. Marshadow is a ghost type and fighting type Pokémon. Although it has the blessing of the rainbow feather, a level 100 Gardevoir is enough to deal with it. So, he asked other Pokémon to defeat the remaining blackened Pokémon, and asked Gardevoir to specifically deal with Marshadow. In less than a moment, all the remaining blackened Pokémon were wiped out by the summer Pokémon. Marshadow, on the other hand, was quickly defeated by Gardevoir's attack. Kai's strength is so strong. Zhangji and Shengzi looked at Zacian in disbelief. Along the way, they heard from Zyozzy that Zacian was very strong. But they have never seen Zacian take action, so they think that Zacian is just a trainer who is slightly stronger than them. However, the situation at that moment shocked them. This damn thing is ridiculously strong. The legendary Shadow Guide was defeated by one of their Gardevoir. Master Fan was also shocked. His eyes widened, and his face was full of shock. Even Cross was silent, and looked at Zacian in disbelief. At this moment, Zyozzy had already taken the rainbow feather that Zacian gave him, and returned to the rainbow rock. Then, Zyozzy placed the rainbow feather on top of the rainbow rock. In an instant, the originally black and iridescent rock suddenly burst into a bright colorful light. Then, the black gradually receded, gradually revealing its original appearance. As for the panting Machado not far away, when she saw this situation, her big orange eyes flickered. Masha cried out once again, then stepped into the shadow and disappeared. When all the black color faded, a colorful light burst out from the iridescent feathers, and soared into the sky. Then, a curved rainbow formed, stretching all the way to the end of the sky. When everyone saw this scene, there were shocked expressions on their faces. Zacian also put away the Pokémon at this moment, and looked at everything with a smile. Photographer Phoenix, it's about to appear. Not long after, at the end of the rainbow in the sky, a colorful Pokémon badge suddenly appeared, flying far away. This Pokémon flew towards the top of Shine King Mountain at a very fast speed and soon appeared in front of Zyozzy and others. Under the guidance of Rainbow Feather, meet the Phoenix King, and become the Rainbow Hero. Master Fan looked at the legendary Pokémon Phoenix King floating in the sky, and said with a smile to Zyozzy. As the Phoenix King floated in the sky and spewed out colorful lights, all the injured Pokémon recovered and were resurrected with full health. The Pokémon have regained their energy. This is the power of King Feng. Everyone was also filled with astonishment. Chapter 181, the title of Rainbow Hero, deep in Silver Mountain. After recovering all the injured Pokémon, the Phoenix King also landed on Rainbow Rock. Zyozzy walked up to King Feng with excitement on his face and said excitedly, "Phoenix King, please fight me." King Feng looked at Zyozzy and then nodded. After watching the anime, I finally found out that this is the mega evolution of the Flash Toucan. The Phoenix King chirped, spread its wings, and landed in front of Ash, ready to start fighting with Ash. When Ash saw this, a smile appeared on his face, and he said to Pikachu on his shoulder, "Pikachu, the decision is yours." Pikachu nodded and then jumped off Ash's shoulder. Go. 100,000 volts. Then, Paishen and the Phoenix King began a fierce battle. In the end, Zyozzy finally got his wish and was called the Rainbow Hero. Ding. Congratulations to the player for completing the quest, Rainbow Hero Challenge. After Zyozzy became the Rainbow Hero, a quest completion message also appeared in front of Zyozzy. Ding. Server-wide announcement. Congratulations to player, Red, who obtained the permanent golden title, Rainbow Hero. With a hundredfold buff, the title of Rainbow Hero has been upgraded to Phoenix King Spokesperson, which is the title of the Phoenix King's representatives who can increase the favor of other legendary Pokémon in special plots. Ding. Congratulations to player, Kai, for completing the hidden quest, explore the Kanto area, and gaining 50,000 reputation points. With a hundredfold buff, you have gained 5 million reputation points. Ding. Server-wide announcement. Player, Red, has completed the task of exploring the Kanto area and unlocked the new map, Kanto area. Players can find the entrance to Kanto area in the teleport menu of the Pokémon phone and spend 10,000 Pokémons with coins. You can enter the Kanto area to explore. As soon as this server-wide announcement came out, all the players were shocked. Holy crap, that's amazing. Kaidashan actually completed the exploration mission of a new map without saying a word. Kaidashan Yides is simply my idol. More amazing than the big boys on the ranking list. Nonsense, Kaidashan is the overlord of the Pokémon rankings. Haven't you seen that all of his Pokémon have been upgraded to level 100? I'm afraid it's because I'm being bullied, because I'm a leader in the rankings, because I'm the best in the server. By the way, a new map has opened, so why don't you take a look? I looked at it. And besides, you can also challenge the 4 kings of the Alliance and champion of Kanto. It is said that after winning, there will be great rewards. Oh shit, really? Why don't you enter the new map? The effect of the Rainbow Hero title looks pretty good. A smile appeared on Zacian's face. Later, Zacian walked up to Zyozzy and said, "Okay, Zyozzy, since you successfully obtained the title of Rainbow Hero, it's time for me to go." Ah, what? Brother Kai, are you leaving? He was stunned for a moment when he heard this. Yes, Dr. Romu asked me to help you with something. He hasn't finished it yet. I have to go to the Johto area next. Zacian nodded and said, "That's it." Zyozzy nodded somewhat disappointedly. "Okay, you are also a powerful trainer now. By the way, haven't you collected 8 badges? You can try to challenge the Quartz League." Zacian saw Zyozzy's appearance. He also smiled and shook his head. "Yes, when I return, I will return and challenge the Quartz Alliance." Zyozzy nodded. "Okay, it's almost time to go." Zacian greeted Zyozzy. "Zangxi, Siko, see you later." Zacian also said to Zangxi and Siko, "Well, if you have time, you can also come to the Sinnoh region to play." Chengxi said reluctantly, "Well, I'll go." Zarshan smiled and said, "Take care of yourself on the road." Saoji said. Zarshan nodded, then released the fire-breathing dragon, and was about to leave. However, at this moment, Master Fan suddenly stopped Zarshan. "Young man, are you going to the Chengdu area?" Master Fan glanced at Zarshan, then took out something from his pocket, and handed it to Zarshan. "This is an ancient bell that I accidentally obtained. It is said to be related to the Phoenix King. Since you can gain the Phoenix King's recognition and obtain the rainbow feather." Although, in the end, Zaozi became the hero of the rainbow, I believe you have some regrets in your heart. This ancient bell is given to you. I hope you can keep it as a souvenir. Master Fan said to Zarshan with a smile. Ding. Congratulations to the player for obtaining the special accessory, Broken Transparent Bell, with 100 times increased benefit. Broken Transparent Bell has been upgraded to Transparent Bell. Thank you very much. Zarshan also didn't expect that Master Fan would actually have something like a transparent bell in his hand. If this happens, after returning to the main world, he might be able to conquer the Phoenix King. It doesn't seem like a bad loss to exchange a rainbow feather for a chance to conquer the Phoenix King. Thinking of this, Zarshan also showed a smile on his face. Then, in the eyes of everyone, Zarshan sat on the back of the fire-breathing dragon and flew into the distance. At the next stop, Zarshan plans to visit Baiyun Mountain first. Baiyun Mountain is not only the location of the Johto Alliance headquarters, but also the secluded place of Kai, the strongest trainer in history. I don't know if I can find Kai deep in Baiyun Mountain. Of course, since the Johto area is connected to the Kanto area, the Elf Alliance in the Johto area is shared with the Kanto area, and the 4 Heavenly Kings and Champions are also shared. For example, the 4 Heavenly Kings of the Kanto Alliance include Fighting King Shiba, Ice King Kona, Ghost King Kikuko, and Uraijito, who is also the champion. However, Fighting King Shiba and Uraijito also occupied positions in the Johto area. The remaining 3 kings are the Superpower King Kazuki, the Poison King Aju, and the Evil King Lahua. After half a day, Zarshan also rode the fire-breathing dragon and arrived at Silver Mountain. In the deep mountains of Silver Mountain, there are many large and small caves, and there are many precious Pokémons that are not found elsewhere, such as Bangela, Lucario, etc. However, Zarshan already has one of these Pokémons, and is still at level 100, so Zarshan has no intention of conquering them anymore. Later, Zarshan searched the deep caves of Baiyun Mountain, but to his disappointment, he could not find any trace of Kai here. It seems that Kai should still be traveling to other areas. Zarshan shook his head helplessly, then released the fire-breathing dragon, and flew towards Roy City, the starting city of the Chengdu region. Chapter 182 Roy Town, Protagonist Agents Challenge. After about half a day, Zarshan finally arrived at Roy City, the starting city of the Johto area. The reason why Zarshan came to Roy City was on the one hand, because it was the starting point of the Johto region, and on the other hand, he wanted to find Dr. Kangmu in Roy City, to ask him for some information. Dr. Kangmu is also Dr. Romu's student, and he knows Dr. Shuri who studies unknown totems. And if Zarshan wants to find Dr. Yuli in such a large area, he must ask someone he knows. Soon, Zarshan arrived at Dr. Kangmu's research institute, and at this time, it was time for the new trainers in the Johto area to depart. When Zarshan entered Dr. Kangmu's research institute, Dr. Kangmu was distributing starter Pokémon to 3 newcomers. Hello, Dr. Kangmu, my name is Kai. I was tasked by Dr. Romu to find Dr. Shuri. Do you know where her current location is? Zarshan walked up to Dr. Kangmu and got straight to the point. Dr. Kangmu had just finished distributing the starter Pokémon. When he heard this, he turned to look at Zarshan with a hint of surprise on his face. Oh, did Dr. Romu call you? I'll be in Platicadon City recently. The Aleph Ruins are investigating the unknown totem. Dr. Kangmu thought for a moment and said, is that so? Thank you Dr. Kangmu. Zarshan thanked him and prepared to leave. Hey, wait. Dr. Kangmu suddenly stopped Zarshan. Doctor, is there anything else? Zarshan asked doubtfully. Is that so? I have 3 new trainers here who are about to leave. I would like to ask you to guide them and have a battle. Dr. Kangmu said with a smile. At this moment, the 3 trainers who were about to leave suddenly became excited when they heard Dr. Kangmu's words. Hello, my name is Ajin. Can you have a battle with me? The young man in the middle wearing a yellow and black peaked cap, a red coat, and black shorts walked up to Zarshan and bowed and said, Akin. A surprised expression appeared on Zarshan's face. If he remembered correctly, Ajin seems to be the protagonist of the 2nd generation in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Unexpectedly, I met him in Roytown. But thinking about it, it seems correct. If you connect all the versions, Ajin set off from Roytown during this period of time. Thinking of this, Zarshan nodded and said, okay. Then, several people arrived at the Kangmu Research Institute battlefield. Go, Fireball Rat. Ajin showed his eyes and released his Pokemon. It's a level 5 Fireball Rat. Zarshan smiled lightly, thought for a moment, and released the fire-breathing dragon. Charizard? This Charizard has been well cultivated and is very powerful. Dr. Kangmu, who was on the sidelines, looked at Zarshan's Charizard with a shocked expression on his face. As for Charizard, it evolved from the Gozen family's Charmander in the Kanto area, right? It seems so powerful. The other 2 new trainers said in astonishment. Soon the battle began. Fireball Rat, use the impact trick. Arjun waved his hand and shouted. After hearing the order, Fireball Rat looked at the Charizard that was several times taller than him, gritted his teeth, and punched the Charizard. Seeing this, Zarshan also smiled. Speaking of which, this battle really has no suspense. A level 5 Fireball Rat against a level 100 fire-breathing dragon is no match at all, right? Even if Charizard were to stand still and not attack, it would take at least a day for the Fireball Rat to defeat it. Charizard. Thinking of this, Zarshan suddenly realized that he seemed to be torturing food. Shaking his head, Zarshan didn't want to embarrass himself and then ordered Charizard, use Sparks. This is the only attack skill that Zarshan can think of that is Charizard's lowest power. When the fire-breathing dragon heard Zarshan's order, it opened its mouth, and a trail of sparks erupted from its mouth, shooting towards the oncoming Fireball Rat. The Fireball Rat that was about to hit was directly hit. Even Charizard's most powerful attack skill is not something that Fireball Rat can withstand. I saw that after the Fireball Rat was hit by a spark, its blood volume was instantly emptied, and it lost its combat ability. Fireball Rat. Seeing the Fireball Rat directly falling onto the field, Ajin's expression suddenly changed. Even Dr. Kangmu and the other 2 new trainers outside the field were dumbfounded. How could this happen? Arjun's Fireball Rat was killed with a single move. Isn't this fire-breathing dragon too powerful? The 2 new trainers looked on in disbelief. My fault. I didn't expect the trainer sent by Dr. Romu to be so powerful. This kind of strength may have reached the level of the Heavenly King. How did he know? Zarshan's strength is so powerful. Coach Kai wins this battle. Although Dr. Kangmu couldn't bear to see Ajin's defeated expression, he still announced the result. Damn it. Ajin reluctantly took back the Fireball Rat. He knew that the gap in strength between him and the trainer in front of him was really too great. After the battle, Ajin walked up to Zarshan and said to Zarshan, you are very strong. I will challenge you again in the future. After Zarshan heard this, he also smiled, nodded, and said, okay, I'm waiting. Speaking of which, Arjun is actually quite strong. At his peak, although he was not as good as Kai, he was still at the top of his game compared to other trainers. At this moment, Dr. Kangmu came over and said to Zarshan, by the way, Kai, I suddenly remembered that a while ago, an ancient item was unearthed on the small island of Omarido. I originally wanted to go there to study, but I don't have time to go. So, I want to ask you to help me do some research. Do you have time? After hearing this, Zarshan was stunned for a moment, and then he became happy. This is Are You on a Mission? Sure enough, a message appeared in front of Zarshan's eyes. Ding. Congratulations to the player for starting the mission. Drive Kangmu's assignment. Okay, Dr. Kangmu, I'll take one more trip to Oma when I have time. Well, okay, by the way, this is the ticket to Omarido. Dr. Kangmu smiled, then seemed to think of something, then took out a ticket from his pocket and handed it to Zarshan. Okay, doctor. Zarshan took the ticket handed over by Dr. Kangmu. Ding. Players have obtained special mission props and are heading to Omarido ticket. The props are special and cannot be used to obtain 100 times the benefit. Okay, Dr. Kangmu, it's time for me to go. Zarshan said to Dr. Kangmu. Well, okay. Dr. Kangmu nodded. Then, Zarshan released the fire-breathing dragon, flew into the distance, and left Roy City. It's great to be young. You can travel everywhere. Looking at Zarshan's leaving figure, Dr. Kangmu's face showed a trace of envy. Then, he turned around and walked into the research institute. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 183 Dr. Shuri, The Secret of the Alfu Ruins. Not long after Zarshan left Roy City, he suddenly thought that he hadn't asked where Omarido was yet. This makes Zarshan a little speechless, but the name Omarido seems a little familiar, as if he had heard it somewhere. He didn't think about it, and Zarshan didn't intend to think about it anymore, because he was now about to arrive at Johor City. Zarshan remembers that there are boats that can be taken in Manjan City. When the time comes, he can go to Manjan City and ask. After arriving at Johor Market, Zarshan first went to the Pokémon Center and asked Miss Joy what was special about Johor Market. In other words, if there are any special characters, see if it can trigger any tasks. However, what disappoints Zarshan is that he didn't find out anything useful. After leaving the Pokémon Center in Zarshan, he met an old man next to the Pokémon shop. The old man was very enthusiastic and asked if it was Zarshan's first time coming to Johor City. Zarshan was a little surprised because this old man seemed to be the old man who led the way in Pokémon Gold and Silver. Then, the old man took Zarshan around Johor City. After visiting the Jiji Flower Market, Xiaxia was ready to leave. She released the fire-breathing dragon and flew in the direction of Kikayo City. Platicadon City is a city located in the center of the Johto area. In this city, there are many places of interest, such as the Trumpet Bud Tower. Of course, these are not the ruins of the legendary Pokémons, but a rather special building. The Alfu ruins are in the southwest of Platicadon City. After arriving at Platicadon City in Zarshan, he walked towards the Alfu ruins in a southwest direction. After arriving at the Alfu ruins, Zarshan encountered a middle-aged man dressed as a researcher outside the Alfu ruins. Zarshan's eyes sparkled, and he quickly walked over and asked, "Excuse me, are you Dr. Ziuli?" The middle-aged man was fiddling with something similar to a communication device, and was stunned when he suddenly heard the question. Immediately, he turned his head, looked at Zarshan, nodded and said, "Yes, I'm Xiuli. Do you know what you want from me?" Drive Xiuli, hello, I'm Dr. Xiao. Oh moo. I was entrusted here to look for you. Zarshan smiled lightly, took out the items Dr. Romu gave him from his backpack, and handed them to Dr. Shuri. Oh, it turns out it's you. Kai, right? Drive Omu told me that you have entrusted a trainer to come over. Dr. Shuri heard this, a trace of surprise appeared on his face, and then said with a smile. He took the map Zarshan handed him, glanced at it, and then said, "I believe you don't know the situation of the Alfu ruins yet. Let me introduce it to you. Now it has almost become a very popular tourist attraction among archaeologists. Some of the main passages have been marked with a lot of introductory materials to introduce these ruins to people who come here for sightseeing. Because of this, it is a precious relic that has been preserved since ancient times 1,500 years ago, so no one dares to destroy the architectural structure here. However, a while ago, I accidentally obtained a map of the secret room of the Alfu ruins. Out of curiosity, I began to investigate the Alfu ruins and found that archaeologists had not found the real secret of the Alfu ruins. Following the guidance of this map, I found the entrance to the ruins. A few days ago, the secret room of the Alfu ruins. Drivesuli introduced Zarshian as he led him towards the ruins. Soon, the two of them arrived at a dark room in the ruins. I saw Dr. Shuri fidgeting somewhere in the room. Soon, in this quiet and dark room, a soft, muffled sound was heard. Then, the wall in front of Zarshian suddenly cracked open, revealing a descending staircase. Is this the passage to the secret room? A surprised expression appeared on Zarshian's face. Not bad. Dr. Xiuli nodded, then took out a flashlight, and said to Zarshian, let's go in. Then, Zarshian walked down the stairs under the leadership of Dr. Xiuli. However, just as the two of them walked up the stairs, the wall behind them suddenly closed, leaving no room. There is still this mechanism. A look of surprise appeared in Zarshian's eyes. However, Dr. Xiuli had obviously been here before. He did not speak, and continued to lead Zarshian forward. Soon after, the two of them arrived at the bottom of the stairs. What was displayed in front of the two people was a huge maze. After investigating, I found that the map in my hand is actually the correct route of this maze. At this moment, Dr. Xiuli raised the map in his hand towards Zarshian, and said with a smile, is that so? Zarshian nodded. Then, Dr. Shuri followed the route on the map, and led Zarshian to walk through the maze. Soon, after comparing the map of the maze, the two of them came to a secret room at the end of the maze. There is nothing in this secret room. Zarshian looks at Dr. Xiuli with doubts on his face. Dr. Xiuli seemed to have noticed Zarshian's doubts. He took the flashlight in his hand, and shined it on the wall of the secret room. Then, lines of text and murals appeared in Zarshian's eyes. What does this mean? Zarshian looked at the words and murals above in surprise. After looking for a long time, he still looked confused. I can't understand it at all. Dr. Shuri smiled and explained, what is recorded here is, even in the sea, Pokémon can use the eyes on their backs to look around. After saying this, Dr. Shuri had no more words. No? Zarshian was stunned for a moment and asked doubtfully, yes, no more. Dr. Shuri nodded. Hearing this, Zarshian was speechless. Okay, let's go to the next stone room. Dr. Shuri said with a smile. Later, under the leadership of Dr. Xiuli, Zarshian came to the second stone chamber. The information recorded in the second stone chamber is, the spirit that flies freely in the ancient sky and never knows what fear is. After Dr. Xiuli explained to Zarshian, he led him to the third stone chamber. The record in the third stone chamber is, the legendary Pokémon that spread its colorful wings and soared into the sky. Immediately afterwards, Dr. Shuri led Zarshian to the last stone chamber. What was recorded on it was, a 10-legged Pokémon that swims at the bottom of the sea and lives by eating plankton. To be honest, Zarshian is still confused until now. These 4 sentences can't be coherent at all. Okay. So, Zarshian asked in confusion, Drive Xiuli, what do these words mean? After hearing Zarshian's question, Dr. Zarshian gave up and brought Zarshian to the room where he first entered the labyrinth. Then, he took out a notebook, opened it and searched for it, then said to Zarshian, actually, the things recorded here should be explained together with the legends of the Johto area. The Alfu ruins were established in 1500. Before, but at a certain period, unknown totems began to gather here in large numbers and denied people entry. Some of the ancestors from the Sinnoh area moved to the Chengdu area, and after communicating with the people in the Chengdu area, in order to express their longing for their hometown, a temple was built in the north of the Johto area, and the remaining part is now called Chengdu Ruins. At the same time, they also spread the commemoration ritual. The legendary spirits through dance came to the Johto area, and later the geisha culture was formed in Yuansu City. And 700 years ago, the people of Yuansu City built 2 towers in the hopes of promoting friendship and hope between Pokémon and humans. They are from the west. The Bell Tower and the Eastern Bell Tower were said to be places where the legendary Pokémon would rest. Later, the 2 towers became the habitats of the legendary Pokémon, Lugia and the Phoenix King respectively. I saw it. The people in the Johto area fought on Whirlpool Island and divided the island into 4 in anger and protected it, rolling up a huge whirlpool to prevent anyone from entering. 500 years later, a lightning bolt suddenly struck. The flames that burned for 3 days were finally extinguished by the heavy rain. The 3 Pokémon died, burned, but the Phoenix King descended from the sky and resurrected them. The resurrected Pokémon were given 3 powers: the lightning that struck the tower, the fire that burned the tower, and the flow of water that represented rain. When the 3 resurrected spirits appeared, people were as afraid of their power as ever, and the distance between people and the spirits grew greater and greater. Lugia and Ho-Oh eventually became disillusioned with humans and flew away from Yuansu City. The records in the Alfu ruins are records of the myths and legends of the Sinnoh region left behind by Sinnoh's ancestors. My investigation of the Sinnoh region, those ancient books finally revealed some secrets related to the unknown totems. It is said that the words recorded by the unknown totems are the way to obtain Arceus approval. Only by communicating with Arceus will it open the way to the divine capital ruins. Quote the passage. Dr. Shuri combined all the legends and gave Zacian a popular science. Zacian fell into deep thought. Arceus? It seemed like he had encountered it before in some ruins. By the way, it's the ruins in the Ice Peaks terrain. I remember that I seemed to have obtained the life orb from Arceus. Suddenly, a flash of light flashed in Zacian's mind. He looked at Dr. Shuri and asked, "Then how can we get to the divine capital ruins?" "It must be approved by Arceus, but this is what I'm worried about." Dr. Shuri said. "Then can you take a look at this?" Hearing this, Zacian also smiled and then took out the life orb stored at the bottom of the backpack. "Ah, this is it?" Dr. Ziuli looked at the beads in Zacian's hand in surprise. "Life orb?" Zacian said with a smile. "Is it the token left behind by the legend Arceus in the Sinnoh region?" Dr. Shuri looked at Zacian in disbelief. "It should be." Zacian nodded. "Great." Dr. Ziuli excitedly took the life orb in Zacian's hand and looked at it. Then, he excitedly said to Zacian, "If there is this life orb, we can enter the God City ruins." Hearing this, Zacian's face also showed a trace of surprise, and then he said with a smile, "Then let's go quickly." "Yes." Dr. Shuri nodded, but couldn't hide the joy in his brows. Afterwards, the two of them left the Aleph ruins. Walking out of the ruins, a mission completion message also appeared in front of Zacian. Ding. Congratulations to the player for completing Drivoki's assignment and obtaining clues about the god of creation. Regarding this, Zacian was also a little speechless. No one else has such a quest. Chapter 184, The Turmoil in the Johto Alliance and Team Rocket Conspiracy. At the same time, when Zacian and Dr. Shuri rushed to the Chengdu ruins in the Chengdu area, a storm suddenly broke out. The reason was that Team Rocket, who was originally lurking in the Chengdu area, ran to the mountains north of Yanmo City for some unknown reason. Generally speaking, although Team Rocket is most active in the Johto and Kanto areas, due to the strength of the 4 kings of the Alliance, they can only operate in secret. It has never been seen to appear so blatantly in the open before. After the Alliance researcher became aware of the news, he hurriedly reported the matter. The senior executives of the League were also very quick to respond, quickly calling people to contact the people lurking inside the rockets. In less than an hour, the reason why Team Rocket appeared was revealed to them. What? Has Team Rocket collected all the Arceus stone slabs? And they also found the ruins of the divine city built by the ancient ancestors? Do you want to summon Arceus? Didn't you report something so important before? The Alliance executive slammed the table angrily, causing many Alliance researchers to lower their heads. In this incident, the rockets were too secretive. Furthermore, the members lurking within Team Rocket only found out about the entire plan when they were sent to the direction of the City of God ruins. That was why the news has only just come to light now. However, now that the League's top leaders are angry, they don't dare to speak up at all. Not long after, the Alliance's top management seemed to have suppressed their anger. After thinking for a moment, they said, "Hurry up and notify the Yanmo Gym's trainer and ask her to quickly go to the ancient site of the Chengdu ruins. Also, notify the 4 heavenly kings. Go to the ruins of the City of God and stop Team Rocket's conspiracy. Hearing this, the Alliance researchers quickly left the conference room to break the news. At this moment, in a mountainous area in the north of Yanmo City, there were a large number of figures dressed in black uniforms with a red R tattooed on their chests walking through the forest. This is where the ruins of the divine capital are located. The Chengdu ruins are located in the hills and mountains north of Yanmo City in the Chengdu region. Compared to the various totems contained in other ruins, most of the vestiges of these ruins have been destroyed. Only a ruined temple remains, so few people pay attention to these ordinary ruins. The leaders who came here this time were the 4 generals of Team Rocket, the king-level trainers, Apollo, Athena, Lance, and Radam. The specific location of the Divine City ruins is up ahead. All teams, speed up. After several years of research and investigation by Team Rocket, they also determined the final location of the Divine Capital ruins. In order to prevent some people from getting in the way, no one from other branches was notified of their operation before it began. Only the 4 generals and some researchers, as well as Team Rocket's boss Sakaki, knew about it. The rest of the members were temporarily transferred from various branches, so the confidentiality of this operation was well done. Apollo, you should understand the importance of this operation to us, Boss Sakaki said coldly on the other side of the communicator. The news that arrived before the 7 Islands base was that the Alliance had eliminated all the branches on the 7 Islands. This made the Rocket's many years of operations on the 7 Islands in vain. Sakaki was extremely angry when he heard the news. Not only that, even the research institutes built on the new island were destroyed, which contained biological genetic data that the Rockets had studied for more than 10 years. It can be said that Team Rocket's power on the 7 Islands has been completely lost. If Sakaki hadn't made it to the end, I'm afraid that even the final results would have been lost. The Rockets spent too much energy on the Mutuo project, and this time the plan is to control Arceus, the legendary god who created the Elven world. This plan was formulated by the boss of the Rockets of the previous generation, and also received the support of many veterans of the Rockets. In order to completely control Team Rocket, Sakaki had no choice but to launch this plan again. God Creation Plan. The ultimate goal of the plan is to control Arceus, use the source of power he left in the world, the 18 stone slabs, to create 3 new gods, and completely control the world. Therefore, there is no room for failure in this mission. Hearing what Boss Sakaki said, Apollo, one of the 4 generals of Team Rocket, was also shocked. He nodded heavily and said, "Don't worry, boss. The power is concentrated here. Even if the 4 kings of the Alliance come, they can't destroy our plan. I'll let them die here without return." Speaking of this, the 4th General Apollo, a cold smile appeared on his face. "If you fail, don't come back to me." Sakaki just said this and hung up the phone. After hanging up the phone, the 4 generals led many members of Team Rocket to the ruins of the Divine Capital without any changes. Although the ruins of the Divine Capital look like an abandoned ruined temple from the outside, there is a huge palace complex beneath the temple. In the central area of this palace complex is a unique stone platform. There are circles of 4 different colors on the stone platform, namely blue, orange, purple, and the last color. Soon, the people of Team Rocket arrived at the center of the palace complex. Then, Apollo divided the members he brought this time into 3 parts. One part was led by Lance, to guard the entrance to the ruins of the Divine Capital. The second section, headed by Radam, guarded the entrance to the underground palace complex. And they were also given special potions to enhance the Pokémon's strength. Even if someone breaks in, they might not be able to advance. The remaining part and some scientific researchers were brought to the central area by Apollo and Athena to implement the god-making plan. The entire underground palace extends in all directions, with the divine pillar as a core, and connected to more than a dozen passages, forming a complete group of divine capital ruins. Although the huge underground palace in front of us is vast and magnificent, the stone platform at its center is empty. Therefore, this is also the reason why many archaeologists and researchers are not very interested in the palace complex located here. A few years ago, an archaeologist from Team Rocket obtained a stone slab of a special color in the Sinnoh region. After investigation, it was discovered that this stone slab turned out to be the legendary stone slab left in the world by Arceus, the god of creation. This discovery excited the scholar, who quickly wrote a report, submitted it, and received financial assistance from the Rockets. Thus began a multi-year study. Not only that, Team Rocket members are also collecting slates in many areas. Finally, some time ago, Team Rocket successfully collected all the stone slabs that Arceus left in the world. In addition, they also successfully investigated the location of the ruins that summoned Arceus, the ruins of the Divine Capital. Subsequently, after the failure of the Seven Islands project, Team Rocket launched the new God project. Apollo asked his men to place the stone slabs in more than 10 slots on the stone platform, with a hint of excitement in his eyes. The legendary god of creation, Arceus, about to appear in front of him. He was probably the first person to witness the appearance of Arceus after thousands of years. The stone platform seemed to sense the power of the stone slab and suddenly burst out with a strong light. Then, a small stone pillar rises from the colorful circle in the middle. On the stone pillar, there is something like a vessel placed. Seeing this vessel, Apollo smiled slightly and put the life gem, the Arceus token obtained from the Sinnoh region, into this vessel. In an instant, countless energy streaks spread around the stone platform, forming various strange line patterns. Subsequently, the entire ruins of the Divine Capital seemed to activate, and the surrounding space quickly became distorted. In addition, the 3 colored rings surrounding the colorful rings also lit up with a dazzling light. Sure enough, the judgment was correct. This is the legendary 3-dimensional step that summons Arceus. At this moment, a Rockets researcher saw this situation and an excited expression appeared on his face. He was the researcher who studied the slate and had been preparing for this day for several years. Fortunately, all their efforts were worth it. Soon, Arceus would appear in front of them. Chapter 185, Spatial Dimension Channel. The Champion King appears. Countless years ago, the remains of the City of God were built by 2 groups of ancient ancestors. The ancient ancestors who migrated from Sinnoh to the Johto area built these ruins to express their longing for their hometown after communicating with the people of Johto. However, after the changes of the times, the ruins of the Divine Capital have been divided into 2 parts. One part is the ruins left outside, and the other part is the real ruins of the Divine Capital. The place where the ruins of the Divine Capital exist is in the spatial gap between reality and time, space, the inverted world, and other dimensions. This is also the result of extensive research into the historical legends of Sinnoh and the Johto area. The correct way to open the entrance to the real ruins, in addition to the stone slab and the jewel of life, there is one more important condition. That is, according to legend, when 2 or more unknown totems come together, incredible power will be produced. The unknown totem is an incarnated spirit that records special words. It is said that its birth time is earlier than that of the god of time, space, and reversal. When Arceus created the 3 gods, the unknown totem also recorded them in a special way. A few years ago, when Team Rocket was carrying out the 7 Islands project, they discovered the existence of unknown totems in the ruins of the 7 Islands. Because there were a large number of different types of Pokémon to be conquered at that time, some unknown totems were also captured. The unknown totem, which was originally thought to be of no use, unexpectedly proved to be useful here. Afterwards, Apollo asked his men to release all the unknown totems they were carrying. After these unknown totems were released, they immediately gathered together, suspended in the air, and began to rotate continuously. Immediately afterwards, a mysterious wave of energy erupted and poured into the entire stone platform. Subsequently, a path leading to the ruins of the Divine Capital in a special spatial dimension was completely opened. Just as Apollo was about to lead the Team Rocket members there, a huge explosion suddenly erupted from the ground, causing the entire underground palace to tremble. Seeing this situation, Athena's face froze, and she said in a deep voice, "Is there anyone from the Alliance here?" Apollo took out his communicator and tried to contact Lance, who was guarding the entrance to the ruins of the City of God, but was unable to do so. A cracking sound was heard. Apollo's face darkened and he sneered, "These people's speed is not bad. But it's too late. Lance and Radam will stop them. Let's go." Leading to the ruins of the Divine Capital. Athena and the other Team Rocket members saw this and quickly followed. In the ruins of the divine capital on the ground, an earth-shattering battle broke out. Xiaochan, the trainer of the Yanmo gym, looked at the Team Rocket members in front of him with extremely solemn expressions. Just an hour ago, he received an order from the Alliance, asking him to go to the ruins of the divine capital in the north of Yanmo City to delay Team Rocket and stop their conspiracy. To be honest, when she first received this task, Xiaochan was still a little disapproving of it. After all, she was the trainer of Aquasi King. Although she does not hold the position of King of the Alliance, she still has the strength to fight against the King. Except for her defeat by her cousin, who was also the champion of the Johto League and the Kanto League, Yulang Shidu, she had basically never been defeated. In her opinion, no matter what kind of conspiracy Team Rocket has, she can definitely stop it with her help. This is not only due to her great self-confidence, but also because she comes from the oldest dragon trainer clan in the Johto area. However, after arriving at the scene, she was shocked to discover that the person leading the team this time was not an ordinary bastard from Team Rocket, but as one of the 4 generals of Team Rocket. Lance has the strength of a king level trainer. As a gym trainer, she naturally knows how powerful the 4 generals of Team Rocket are. Therefore, after trying a sneak attack, Xiaochan helplessly found that she couldn't defeat these people from Team Rocket. This made her feel a little frustrated. What's going on? Until this moment, she was still confused, because she had no idea what Team Rocket's plan was this time, and they actually sent a king level trainer here. Hey, beautiful lady, you must be Xiaochan, the trainer of the Yanmo gym. The strength of the Dragon Trainer clan is really strong. You have the strength of a Quasi King at a young age, but you can't defeat him. Human. If you don't want your Pokémon to die, I advise you to give up the resistance. For the sake of your beauty, perhaps I can spare your life. Lance, the 4th general of Team Rocket. He looked at Xiaochan with an evil smile on his face, and continued to speak sarcastically. Team Rocket, your conspiracy will not succeed. Xiaochan frowned and said displeasedly. To be honest, she hated Lance in front of her. She had also heard that Lance, one of the 4 generals, although seemingly kind on the surface, was actually the cruelest and most terrifying cadre of Team Rocket. Many Pokémons died tragically at the hands of Lance. This made Xiaochan feel extremely unhappy. At the same time, she also had some regrets in her heart. When she went out, she only brought 3 main Pokémons. Facing such a powerful Team Rocket, they simply feel powerless. 2 Pokémons have fallen, and only a half-disabled dragon is left to resist their attack. This dragon is their strongest Pokémon. He is level 62, and has the strength of a king. Long, can you still fight? Xiaochan looked at the rockets in front of him with a solemn expression, and said with concern, ouch. Although Kualang's breathing was a little weak, he still patted his chest and shouted, if you are so ignorant of current affairs, then don't blame me for killing her. Give it to me, kill her. When Lance saw that Xiaochan still wanted to resist, he had a serious expression on his face, and waved his hand. He ordered his subordinates. After hearing the order, the Team Rocket members surrounded Xiaochan with sinister smiles on their faces, allowing the Pokémons to attack Kualang. Although Kualang's condition is not very good, he is still very strong. Most of the Team Rocket members are guys in their 30s and 40s. Therefore, under the siege of these Pokémons, Kualang managed to hold on for a long time. But it still couldn't withstand the overwhelming numbers and finally fell in front of Xiaochan. Lang. Xiaochan exclaimed as he watched Kualang fall in front of him, losing his ability to fight. But all the Pokémon he was carrying had fallen, and he no longer had the strength to fight. This made her grit her teeth bitterly. Damn it. Hey, beautiful lady, your Pokémon has already fallen. Lance looked at Xiaochan's expression, and said with an evil smile. Xiaochan looked at Lance bitterly, with a miserable expression on his face. However, at this moment, a voice suddenly came from the air. When did Team Rocket dare to act in such a big way? Hearing this voice, the expressions of everyone in Team Rocket, and even the 4th General Lance, changed severely. Because this voice is extremely familiar to them. They have dealt with the owner of this voice dozens of times. He is the champion of the Alliance, Envoy Yulang. Then, everyone looked up at the sky. I saw a swift dragon flapping its wings in the air, hovering in the sky. and on Koalang's back, there was a young man with red hair, wearing black tights and a red and black cloak standing. This young man is the dragon controller, Do. Furthermore, rustling sounds were heard in the forest, and then several figures jumped out from the forest. They are the four kings of the alliance. A tree, orange tree, zebra, pear blossom. Brother, there are the four heavenly kings. Zio-chan, who was originally in a desperate situation, had a surprised expression on his face after seeing Do and the four heavenly kings. He didn't expect things to change so quickly. This is truly a desperate situation. Team Rocket, your plan will not succeed. I advise you to hurry up and capture him. The four heavenly kings came to Zio-chan's side, and one of them, a young man wearing a black eye patch and a black and red tuxedo, said with a smile, "He is Kazuki, one of the four heavenly kings of the Johto Alliance. The Alliance's lack is really disturbing." Lance, the fourth general of the Rockets, looked at the group of five in front of him, and his face twisted violently. He didn't expect the Johto Alliance to react so quickly and directly send the four heavenly kings and champions here. Now things are a bit troublesome. He alone can't stop these guys. Chapter 186. Fengkian withdraws his voice. "So it's you?" Exclamation mark. "We must find a way. On my own, I'm no match for the four kings and the champion. Now it seems that the only way is to retreat to the underground palace to join Radom." Do also tried to resist the five-man group, but he still knew his own strength. If there are one or two kings, with these people and the special potion given by Apollo, there is still no problem in fighting against the Alliance. However, now that the higher level combat forces of the Johto Alliance are here, he is still self-conscious. Moreover, if he is defeated alone, Radom will be even less able to resist his steps. Thinking of this, Lance already had an idea in mind, but he couldn't retreat so quickly now. He had to delay it a little longer. In other words, create some trouble for them. At this moment, Do also had Koalong land in the air and approached the four heavenly kings and Zio-chan. The Alliance is such a grand event that they actually sent the four kings and champions here. Lance looked at the Alliance members in front, a faint smile on his face, but a chill flashed in his eyes. He could feel that the aura of the fast-moving dragon he was crossing was a little stronger. It's even a little more powerful than before. Did the Pokémon strength improve again this time? Lance was speechless again. The last time they met, the gap between them was already huge. However, he wouldn't just give up. Crossword, poison attack. Heluga, spray flames. The rest of you, come with me. Lance reacted quickly, waved his hand, and took the lead in attacking. The Team Rocket members heard the order and quickly called for their Pokémon to attack. In an instant, countless attacks were directed towards Do and the others. Seeing this scene, the expressions of the four heavenly kings didn't change, and they let their Pokémon launch an attack as well. Boom. 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 Waves of roars echoed across the mountains, deafening. Although the Rockets have a larger number of players, their strength is still inferior to that of the four heavenly kings and the league champions. Therefore, shortly after the battle, many Pokémon among the Team Rocket members fell. As a last resort, Lance asked them to use special potions. After Apollo distributed these potions, the Team Rocket members had already asked the Pokémon to carry them, so in the battle, let the Pokémon use them. After the Team Rocket Pokémon took the special potion, their strength instantly increased, becoming several times stronger than before. Faintly, it has reached the level of aqua-seeking. Not only that, the eyes of these Pokémon turned red and became extremely violent. The attacks also became extremely fierce, not caring at all about getting hurt. It was simply an extremely tough playstyle, exchanging injury for injury. This situation also made the four heavenly kings and champion Do frown. But fortunately, what they brought this time were all top tier teams. It was a little more troublesome to defeat these crazy Pokémon. Soon, the crazy Pokémon fell in front of everyone, losing their ability to fight. Team Rocket, if you have any other moves, please use them quickly. Everyone in the Alliance looked at the fourth general, Lance, and said calmly. Hearing this, a smile suddenly appeared on Lance's face, and a successful smile flashed in his eyes. The reason he asked his Pokémon to take special potions was to delay time, so that he could fix some things. While they were fighting just now, everyone retreated and stood behind Lance. Right. I have another trick here, just watch it. Lance said with a sneer. Hearing this, the Team Rocket members once again took out a Poké Ball and threw it over. Bursts of white light flashed, and what appeared in front of the 4 Heavenly Kings and was a large area of double bomb gas. Seeing the double bomb gas, Xianachan, Watanabe, and the 4 Heavenly Kings were a little confused. They didn't know what kind of aircraft these Team Rocket members were using. Poison mist bomb. As 4th General Lance finished speaking, the double bomb gas bomb suddenly spewed out a thick, purple-colored stinking fog, and launched it towards them. Not only that, but there were traces of white light coming out of those double bomb gas bombs. Of course, Du and the others weren't newbies. When they saw this scene, their expressions instantly changed. Kelong, use tornado. Duck. After ordering Kuo Lang to use his trick, Du shouted and quickly fell to the ground. Farewell, Dragon Controller, crossover. After saying these words, Lance threw out the double bomb gas bomb and led his men towards the underground palace. At this moment, Kuo Lang also used the tornado trick, but as soon as the poisonous mist disappeared, the white light of the double bomb gasifiers became more and more intense. Immediately afterwards, majestic energy fluctuations emerged. Boom. 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 Explosions occurred one after another, covering the entire area. Although Kuo Lang is powerful, he also suffered a lot of damage in the huge explosions. It turns out that the poisonous mist bomb is to use the double bomb gas to expel the poisonous gas, blind the sight, and then use the double bomb gas to use a huge explosion to play a blocking role. At this time, Watari and the others were also a little disgraced, but fortunately they had predicted Team Rocket's actions in advance, so they were not injured. However, it is a bit embarrassing. The cunning Team Rocket, Du and the others gritted their teeth bitterly after seeing that the people from Team Rocket had disappeared. Xiao-chan, recover your Pokemon's injury. Let's go to the God City ruins. Du handed some vitality blocks to Xiao-chan and then said to the 4 Heavenly Kings. When the 4 Heavenly Kings heard this, they all nodded. Then, they walked towards the underground palace complex in the Divine Capital ruins. Not long after Du and others left, Xiaoshan and Dr. Shuri also hurried over from Patikadon City. When they arrived at the outskirts of the Divine Capital ruins, the two of them were stunned for a moment when they looked at the pitted ground, the double gas bomb, and other Pokemons lying on the ground. What's going on? How come there are so many Pokemons falling here? Dr. Repair's face was full of doubts. A battle should have happened here. Xiaoshan looked at the footprints on the ground, and a fierce battle should have broken out here. However, at this moment, a violent roar suddenly erupted from the depths of the Divine Capital ruins, and the ground collapsed in several areas. It seemed as if a fierce battle was taking place. Who is fighting here? Seeing this scene, Xiaoshan was also curious. Drive Ziuli, let's go in first. Xiaoshan's eyes flashed, and he said to Dr. Ziuli, well, okay. Dr. Shuri nodded. Dr. Shuri has inspected here before, so he is quite familiar with the underground palace complex in the Divine Capital ruins. Under Dr. Shuri's leadership, the two of them walked through the ruins outside the Divine Capital ruins and entered the underground palace complex. When the two of them entered the underground palace complex in Xiaoshan, a fierce battle had already broken out in the core area of the underground palace complex. The energy fluctuations from the battle spread far away, causing many surrounding palaces to collapse. What worried them even more was that the Pokémon of these Team Rocket members had taken that special potion and had become stronger. What they were facing now were dozens of Pokémon. Not only that, but there are also 2 generals of the 4 Rockets with king level strength. Even the 4 Heavenly Kings and Envoy Yulan felt a bit of pressure. The scene became a bit stalemate. After a fierce battle, both sides suffered considerable damage. Hey, Du, you'd better give up. You can't stop our rockets. Lance had a cold look, looking at Du with an ugly face in front of him. He said with a smile, I advise you to quickly evacuate, so that you don't lose your life here. It's not easy to become a king and champion. I don't want to have any opponents in the future. The Johto area and the Kanto area will become the territory of our rockets. When the time comes, it will be your alliance's turn to become rats and insects in the dark. Radam, one of the 4 generals of the Rockets, stepped aside. Mew also said with a sneer on his face. Because he had suffered losses at the hands of the 4 Heavenly Kings before, Radam did not look highly on these people at all. Damn it. Seeing the 2 Team Rocket generals talking nonsense, Do and the 4 Heavenly Kings looked extremely ugly. However, just as the scene stopped, a voice suddenly rang in everyone's ears. Do you need help? 2 figures suddenly appeared not far away. One is a middle-aged man dressed as a researcher. The other is a young man wearing a red and white peaked cap, a red shirt, and blue pants. These 2 people are naturally Zarshian and Dr. Ziuli. The 2 generals and many Team Rocket members were stunned by a moment when they saw the 2 people who suddenly appeared. Not only that, even Do, Xianachan, and the 4 Heavenly Kings were stunned. What is going on? Why are there still people waiting here? Exclamation mark. Who the hell are you? Lance said with a cold expression, staring at Zarshian with a cruel gaze. Hearing this, Zarshian also chuckled and said, I'm just a passing trainer. I didn't expect to meet your rockets again. Rocket? Speaking of which, last time I destroyed a Team Rocket base in the 7 Islands area. By the way, what are the names of those 2 Team Rocket cadres, Carter? What did Zarshian say? When it fell into the ears of the 2 Team Rocket generals, their expressions changed drastically, and there was a look of horror in their eyes. What? You are the one who destroyed the 7 Islands base? In addition to Team Rocket and others being horrified, even the Dragon Envoy looked at Zarshian with surprise on his face. He didn't expect to meet this young man here. He remembered that King Kona specifically mentioned this matter at the last Kanto Alliance report meeting. I have special respect for the trainer named Kai. It turned out to be the young man in front of me. Chapter 187 Arceus, the god of creation, and the 3 gods of space-time reversal appear. The reason why Zarshian stood up was because after entering the underground palace complex, a mission message appeared in front of him. Ding. Congratulations to the player for triggering the special mission. Help the Alliance trainer stop Team Rocket's conspiracy and calm Arceus' anger. Zarshian still understood the previous conspiracy to stop Team Rocket, but then calmed Arceus' anger, but it made Zarshian somewhat confused. Team Rocket's main activity range is the Kanto region and the Johto region is quite understanding of their problems. However, it seemed impossible to calm Arceus' anger. Remember that Arceus only appeared in super time and space, right? Moreover, this is the Johto area, which is mainly the territory of Ho-Oh and Lugia. Will Arceus appear here? However, Zarshian suddenly thought of the legends of the Alpha ruins and the Divine Capital ruins, and immediately reacted. Is it because of these 2 ruins? After all, judging from those ancient legends, it is very possible that Arceus will appear in the Johto area. Thinking of this, Zarshian also understood in his heart that perhaps the Rocket's plan this time was related to Arceus. Boy, you destroyed our Rocket 7 Island base, and you still dare to appear in front of us. You're simply seeking death. Lance said with a gloomy expression. Oh, really? Hearing this, Zarshian also chuckled, and his eyes fell on the 4th general of Team Rocket. To be honest, Zarshian didn't take these threatening words too seriously. However, what makes Zarshian curious is, where do these people from the Rockets get their confidence from? However, just as everyone was silent, the stone platform in the central area suddenly lit up with a dazzling light. Immediately afterward, a spatial crack opened up, and countless unknown totems came out of it. Not only that, Team Rocket also appeared on the stone platform. These people are Apollo, Athena and others who entered the dimensional space before. They successfully summoned the legendary god of creation, Arceus, into the dimensional space. Moreover, using the Dark Master Ball newly developed by Team Rocket, they successfully controlled and captured the summoned Arceus. After taking control of Arceus, they opened the passage again and returned here. Because the stone platform of this underground palace complex is the most important place for the creation of new gods, the level of the 3 element. This sudden light also attracted everyone's attention. It's Apollo and Athena. When Lance and Radam saw them appear, their faces suddenly showed expressions of surprise. Not good. On the other hand, the 4 heavenly kings and others changed their expressions when they saw this scene. It is self-evident what it means for Apollo and others to come out of the rift in time and space. In other words, have they successfully controlled Arceus? The faces of and the 4 heavenly kings were filled with horror. How is this possible? And the 4 heavenly kings, I didn't expect them to be so fast. Apollo, standing on the stone platform, looked at the people below with a rare smile on his face. Then, he continued, however, when you come here today, you are simply throwing yourself into a trap. Let me die here. Apollo laughed ferociously and then threw the Dark Master Ball in his hand. Suddenly, a white light flashed, and a tall Pokémon, similar in appearance to a human horse, appeared in front of everyone. This Pokémon carries a cross-shaped wheel on its back, which is connected to the body at its abdomen. The wheel is inlaid with 4 gems. This Pokémon is none other than the legendary god of creation, level 70 Arceus. Under the terrifying pressure, all the Pokémon present unconsciously showed fear in their eyes. That is God. The majesty of God. Arceus. Seeing this Pokémon, and Shai and Wang, as well as Dr. Repair, exclaimed with disbelief on their faces. As senior trainers of the Alliance, they were somewhat familiar with the legends of various regions, so when they saw this Pokémon, they instantly recognized it. The reason Dr. Shuri knew about Arceus was because an unknown totem once appeared in the Sinnoh region. He also went there to investigate and accidentally discovered the legend about Arceus. Everyone in Team Rocket showed a fanatic look at this moment. Controlling Arceus, the god of creation, meant that they had the ability to change the world. Arceus, create 3 new gods. Reverse time, space, go. Apollo looked at Arceus with a smile and threw the life gem in his hand towards Arceus. The life gem drew an arc in the air, but because it was condensed by the power of Arceus, thus, the life gem emitted light and fused into Arceus' body. Immediately afterward, a large number of unknown totems surrounded Arceus, and Arceus' aura became several times stronger. Its level directly soared from level 70 to level 90. Waves of energy that destroyed heaven and earth came from Arceus' body, causing many Pokémons to be unable to withstand the pressure. They instantly fell to the ground, unable to resist. Even the 4 heavenly kings, and others looked at the scene in front of them in horror, and lost their voices in shock. Zacian, who had been silent all this time, saw a look of surprise in their eyes when he saw this scene. He didn't expect that this Arceus was actually a bright, golden Pokémon of different colors. Generally speaking, Arceus' body and skin are grayish white, but this one is golden, which is a little strange. Then, Zacian noticed the unknown totems surrounding Arceus, and a thought suddenly flashed through his mind. Is it because of them? However, just as everyone was in shock, the next scene shocked them even more. I saw that Arceus was suspended in the air, emitting divine light, illuminating the entire underground palace complex. Then, the energy of the 3 apertures separated from him and moved towards the 3-dimensional order. It merged with the 3 colored rings on the 3-dimensional staircase, opening up 3 spatial rifts. The unknown totems surrounding Arceus flew towards the 3 spatial rifts. Then, 3 tall figures appeared in front of everyone. The god of time, Dialga. The god of space, Palkia. The god of reversal, Giratina. All of their levels are at level 70. The 3 legendary Pokémon stared at everyone with their scholar eyes. An endless pressure surged from their bodies. How is this possible? Seeing this scene, and the 4 heavenly kings widened their eyes with disbelief on their faces. Ha ha ha. Seeing the 3 gods appear, Apollo laughed wildly and said, how was it? You understand now, right? Apollo seemed to be enjoying the feeling now. At this moment, Zacian, who had been watching for a long time, showed a smile on his face and said lightly, is this the legendary Pokémon summoned by your rockets? It fell into everyone's ears like a bolt from the blue. Many people looked at Zacian with strange eyes, as if they were looking at a fool. Boy, are you scared, because you saw how powerful our rockets are? Lance also fixed his gaze on Zacian, with an extremely strange look. Haha, they're just a group of legendary Pokémon represented by unknown totems. There's nothing to be afraid of. Zacian said with a faint smile. After looking at it for a long time, he finally understood. It turned out that the four so-called divine beasts in front of him were just manifestations of unknown totems. When the unknown totem appeared earlier, he suddenly remembered, isn't this the plot of the special episode? Moreover, he even took out the unknown totem slate in his backpack and looked at it and found that with the appearance of those unknown totems, the unknown totem slates kept glowing. That was why he realized that all of this was the effect of the manifestation of the unknown totem. Chapter 188 The Creator God and his three younger brothers? That's all. The real Arceus can't be golden. After all, there is only one Arceus in this world that can hold the priesthood. Even if the real Arceus comes, Zacian believes that he can defeat it. This is impossible. You are talking nonsense. This is the legendary god of creation, as well as the three gods of time, space, and reversal. Hearing Zacian's words, everyone was in an uproar, their faces full of disbelief. Kid, let me show you, if they are real gods. Go to hell. Apollo's face was filled with coldness, his eyes were fixed on Zacian, and he roared angrily, as if he had been hit. Arceus, destroy light. Palkia, tear apart the air. Dialga, roar of time. Giratina, shadow strike. As Apollo's voice fell, the four Pokémon suspended in the air launched their maximum energy attacks. The golden, purple, blue, and orange energy attacks tore through the void and blasted towards Zacian and the others. This kind of world-destroying energy fluctuation made Do and the others change their expressions. Get away. Facing this threatening attack, Zacian's expression didn't change at all. He just smiled faintly and then threw out 4 Pokémon balls. 4 white lights flashed, and Charizard, Rayquaza, Gardevoir, and Koganinja appeared in front of everyone. Intercept it. Zacian said lightly. As soon as Zacian finished speaking, the figures of the 4 Pokémons instantly moved. Roar. The fire-breathing dragon roared, and surging energy fluctuations violently erupted from the body, erupting like a volcano. Immediately, it opened its mouth, and an extremely hot flame that seemed capable of burning the entire world erupted from its mouth. It bombarded the golden energy beam that shot out. Boom. The 2 rays of light crossed each other, and a deafening roar suddenly erupted. Arceus' destructive light was blocked in this way. Not only that, Arceus' destructive light showed faint signs of retreating. On the other hand, it was extremely easy for Gardevoir to face Giratina's shadow attack. Gardevoir's eyes flashed with a blue light. Immediately, majestic thought power bloomed from the center of her eyebrows. In an instant, it covered the entire core area of the underground palace. Under Gardevoir's telekinesis, Giratina's figure was completely invisible. The trace was directly found by Gardevoir. The corner of Gardevoir's mouth slightly curved, and she shouted, Gardevoir. Immediately afterwards, a surging mental power erupted, turning into a sharp spiritual sword and bombarding Giratina. Giratina, who was sneaking in the darkness, was hit by a spiritual sword. The entire body emerged from the darkness and was shocked. At this moment, Giratina's blood volume was instantly emptied. After receiving Gardevoir's blow, it lost its ability to fight and fell to the ground. Immediately, Giratina glowed with white light, and its entire body turned into unknown totems, which penetrated the cracks in space and disappeared. As for Koganinja, the evolution of the direct link is complete. Wielding a huge golden healing shuriken, he rushed towards Palkia's torn giant claws. Boom. The giant claw and the golden shuriken collided fiercely, making a huge noise. The remnants of the attack scattered, causing space to tremble. However, the stalemate only lasted for a moment. Palkia simply couldn't withstand the power of the golden healing shuriken, and was hit by the huge shuriken. The figure was directly sent flying, even though Palkia is a water type and dragon type divine beast. However, under the suppression of the level, the blood volume also decreased by a third. After the Koganinja succeeded in an attack, he did not stop attacking. His body turned into an afterimage, and like a violent storm, he launched a fierce attack on Palkia. In less than a moment, Palkia's blood volume had bottomed out and fell in front of the Koganinja. For Rayquaza, it is not easy to defeat a level 70 mythical beast. He opened his mouth, condensed a golden beam of light, and shot towards Dialga. Dialga's roar of time was directly shattered by Rayquaza's destructive light, as if it were devastating. Dialga received this blow, and his blood volume was reduced by more than half. However, before Dialga could react, Rayquaza's attacks followed again. With just 2 moves, the god of time directly fainted. In the entire central area, only a half-disabled Arceus remained. The summer Pokémon returned their 3 younger siblings to their prototypes, and returned them to the spatial rift. How is this possible? Those are the gods of creation, time, and space, and the 3 reverse gods. How could they be defeated like that? They are just strong. Forget it, there is actually the legendary Pokémon, Rayquaza, the god of the sky. This scene fell into everyone's eyes, making them look at Zacian in disbelief, as if they were seeing a ghost. Even Watari, Kazuki, Aju, Liha, Ziba, Zyadichan and others from the alliance were dumbfounded. The god of time, the god of space, the god of reversal, were defeated just like that. There was only one Arceus left, still fighting to the death. At this moment, everyone fell silent. Team Rocket, that's it, Zacian said with a faint smile, his eyes falling on Apollo standing on the stone platform. This is impossible. Apollo also had a horrified expression on his face at this moment, looking at Zacian in disbelief. This must be a lie. However, after Apollo said these words, the fire-breathing dragon floating in the air also launched its final attack. A raging flame surged out and fiercely struck Arceus' body, engulfing its entire body. Raw. Burned by the flames, the dragon's body was completely covered in flames. In the flames, Arceus let out a painful cry, and his blood volume also decreased rapidly. Soon after, he lost his fighting ability, fell from the air, and landed heavily on the ground. Then, a spatial crack suddenly appeared, and Arceus' huge figure turned into streams of light and penetrated in. At this point, all the gods summoned by Team Rocket were wiped out. Everyone in Team Rocket fell silent. The young man in front of them was too powerful. Even gods can be easily defeated. They simply couldn't compete with him, and they even had a hint of fear. Apollo, let's retreat. This time the plan failed. At this moment, Orthena suddenly reacted and looked at the Alliance coach and the young man not far away, and said to Apollo. Hearing this, Apollo gritted his teeth, and clenched his fists tightly, with a look of unwillingness on his face. However, the situation in front of me has been completely turned upside down. It's all because of that kid. Apollo's eyes stayed on Zacian's body for a moment, and a strong killing intent burst out in his eyes. Everyone listen to the order and get out. Apollo took a deep breath, calmed down, and said helplessly, quickly, stop them, don't let the rockets escape. After Du heard this, his expression suddenly changed, and he shouted loudly. However, Team Rocket has also gone through rigorous training, and has already prepared a retreat route before they arrived. Just as Du and others reacted, they threw out smoke bombs. Kuoilong, tornado. After Kuoilong dissipated the smoke, Team Rocket and others had long since disappeared. Damn it. Seeing this scene, Du and others unwillingly clenched their fists. Cunning rockets. This time was originally a good opportunity to annihilate all their forces in the Johto area in one fell swoop. It's a pity that they were allowed to flee like this. At this moment, a reminder appeared in front of Zacian. Ding. Congratulations to the player for completing the special mission. Obtain the reward, the chance to capture the unknown totem. When this message appeared, one appeared in front of Zacian. An unknown totem in form. Zacian was stunned for a moment, then smiled slightly, and let Charizard directly enter the battle. Later, after Zacian threw several high-level balls, he finally subdued this ultimate form of unknown totem. Then, Zacian put this unknown totem into the unknown totem stone slab. A reminder appeared in front of him again. Ding. Congratulations to the player for completing the hidden mission, collecting unknown totems, and obtaining the ancient sacrificial cup of Arceus. With a 100-fold benefit, the ancient sacrificial cup is upgraded to the Holy Grail. After collecting all 18 stone slabs, put them into the Holy Grail. There is a certain chance that the god of creation, Arceus, can be summoned. Zacian was also overjoyed when she saw the message appear in front of her. This way, as long as you collect 18 stone slabs, you will be able to summon the alpaca Arceus. This should be the greatest benefit of Zacian's trip to the city. Chapter 189 Return to the main world and summon the Phoenix King. Zarshan retrieved all the Pokémon. The battle just now caused great damage to the underground palace group, and many places collapsed. The three-dimensional order was forever buried in the ground, and the vessel that summoned the fake Arceus was shattered as the unknown totem left. It can be said that the ruins of the divine capital have lost their original magic. Do and others checked the situation in the central area and shook their heads helplessly. Do walked up to Zarshan and said with a smile, "Hello, let me meet you. I'm the champion trainer of the Chengdu and Kanto regions, Yulong Envoy Do." Zarshan nodded and said with a smile, "Hello, you can call me Kai." Thanks to you, Team Rocket's conspiracy was stopped this time. Otherwise, the entire Johto area, not to mention the Kanto area, would have been in crisis. "I will take care of this matter to the Alliance and get some rewards for you," Do said with a smile. "Thank you very much." Zarshan also smiled when he heard this. "By the way, I wonder if you are interested in working in the Alliance?" Do asked tentatively. After all, the young man in front of him had absolutely superb strength. I'm afraid that even with all his main strength, he wouldn't be able to defeat Zarshan. He was even on par with a boy who left Zengxin City 3 years ago. Of course, Do doesn't know who is more powerful. After all, he only took over the championship a year after the previous champion stepped down. Moreover, he also fought against the last champion, the boy from 3 years ago, but no one knows how he will grow in 3 years. I'm not interested in taking up a position in the Alliance for the time being. After I travel to other regions, maybe I will. Zarshan thought for a moment, shook his head and said, "That's it." A flash of disappointment flashed in Do's eyes, but he hid it well and then said, "Then let's leave first." He withstood the damage just now. The fierce battle may collapse at any time. Okay. Zarshan nodded. Then, the group of people walked towards the ruins on the ground. The mission of the Divine Capital ruins has basically been completed, and the next thing has nothing to do with him. After finding a reason, Zarshan left the Divine Capital ruins mountains. Dr. Ziuli, who came with him, also wanted to investigate the matter of the unknown totem, so he did not leave with Zarshan. Speaking of which, the task assigned to him by Dr. Oki has been completed, and no tasks appear now. Zarshan also remembered where exactly the Oromado ferry ticket that Dr. Kangmu gave him before was. The stage version of the Guardian of the Water City is set there. Now that Zylsey is still in the Kanto area, the future plot has not been triggered, and he has no way to start. Let's explore the hidden missions in the Johto area next time. Zarshan thought about it, and decided to return to the main world first to prepare to summon the Divine Beast. Later, Zarshan took out the Pokemon's phone and teleported back to the base. After returning to the base, Zarshan organized the items in the backpack, and put all the items in the shulker box in the box. Then he found the Dragon Wave skill disc from the box, and taught it to do BB. Poison Baby can only evolve into a 4-jawed needle dragon, after learning Dragon Wave. After doing this, I went to the tree orchard to harvest again in the summer. Now, the Pokemons carried by Summer's team are Poison Babe, Pikachu, Flying Mantis, Riolu, Sedan Ball, and Lulali. Except for Poison Baby, the other 4 Pokemons are all newborn Pokemons with all the qualifications, and are still at level 1. Therefore, the next plan is to raise their levels to the maximum level. Zarshan first came to the Sea of Flowers, hung the transparent bell on the tree, swung it a few times, and waited for the Phoenix King to appear. The transparent bell began to emit a crisp sound, turning into a mysterious power, spreading out in all directions, floating far, far away. After Zarshan shook the transparent bell, he stopped caring about it, and began to search for nearby leveling goals. At the same time, in a certain area, a huge bird spirit with red feathers and a few colorful birds were sleeping. After an unknown amount of time, a clear sound came from a distant place, faintly reaching the ears of this bad Pokémon. Hearing this sound, the bird Pokémon's eyelids moved, and it woke up. It looked around blankly, then stared into the distance. "Who's calling me?" This familiar feeling seemed to come from the signal it once gave to humans. King Feng shook his head to clear his confused thoughts, then spread his wings, and flew high into the sky. Wherever the Phoenix King flew, it left rays of colorful light behind, and the direction it headed was exactly the direction the summons came from. After 3 hours of gaining experience, Zacian finally raised the levels of the 4 new babies to level 50. Except for Flying Mantis, all of them have evolved to their final form. Zacian directly raised the Poison Baby to level 100 using magic candies and successfully evolved it into a 4-jawed needle dragon. At this moment, the transparent bell had stopped shaking. Zacian walked up to the tree and continued to shake the bell, and then began to level up again. Of course, you can rely on magic candies to level up, but the main thing for Zacian to level up is his skill mastery. The higher the skill mastery, the greater the power, which can be seen from his main Pokémons. In the next moment, Zacian rang the transparent bell several times. Finally, under Zacian's unremitting efforts, a message appeared in front of his eyes. Ding. Server-wide announcement, a legendary Pokémon has appeared in the Sea of Flowers. Here it comes. When Zacian saw this message, a smile appeared on his face, and then he looked towards the sky. At this moment, most of the players were stunned for a moment. After seeing this news, a legendary Pokémon appears again. I wonder what legendary Pokémon will appear this time. And it's still in a Sea of Flowers. What a little cutie is so lucky. I want one too. Many players sighed. It seems that most of the players have never seen the legendary Pokémon since the first one was updated. This made them feel a little sad. Is it so difficult to meet a legendary Pokémon? At this moment, in the area where Zacian was, a huge bird spirit slowly flew over from a distance with a colorful light. When it reached the area, it saw a human standing below, with a Pikachu beside him. King Feng's eyes glanced at this human and then landed. When Zacian saw the Phoenix King land, a smile appeared on his face and he said, "King Feng, I want to conquer you." After saying this, Zacian directly asked Pikachu to introduce the Phoenix King into battle. After entering the battle, Zacian directly threw the Master Ball into his backpack. His movements were as smooth as water, as if it had been tempered thousands of times. The Master Ball drew a beautiful arc in the air, and then accurately hit the Phoenix King. Phoenix King was hit by the Master Ball, with a confused look in his eyes. What did this human lose? However, at this moment, a red light suddenly shot out from the strange ball, covering King Feng's entire body. Then, a huge suction force pulled the Phoenix King inside. Phoenix King shouted, trying to break free from this strong suction, but was shocked to find that he couldn't break free. In an instant, Phoenix King was sucked into the Master Ball. The Master Ball fell to the ground and began to tremble violently. Buzz, 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 buzz. After shaking for a moment, the Master Ball finally stopped. And before Zacian's eyes, a message also appeared. Ding. Congratulations to player Kai for conquering the legendary Pokémon Phoenix King with a hundredfold benefit. All 6 qualifications of the Phoenix King have been upgraded to gold. Ding. Since the Pokémons the player is carrying are full, the Phoenix King has been automatically transferred back to the PC. After conquering the Phoenix Queen, Zacian also showed a smile on his face. There is another one in his collection of mythical beasts. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 190. I was tortured to the point of doubting my life. Ding. Server-wide announcement. Congratulations to player Kai for conquering the legendary Pokémon. When this message appeared in front of all the players, their eyes immediately widened. Worry, how come the Red God has conquered you again? Silin Moo. Finally, a legendary Pokémon was conquered again by this little red guy. This is a garbage game. I will stop playing it. The man above is really irritable, but this is already a basic operation for the Red God. The Red God, the Eternal God. All the players were speechless as thousands of horses galloped past. Why does this Red always have such good luck? After Zacian conquered the Phoenix Queen, he planned to go to the deep sea terrain. His illustrated book is about 40% complete except for some rare Pokémons, which require crouching. Most of the land Pokémons have been conquered by him. Furthermore, Zacian already has the initial or ultimate form of some Pokémons. At that time, by breeding, you will basically be able to complete most of the illustrations. Of course, there are still relatively few aquatic Pokémons on his PC, so he plans to go to the deep sea. Then, Zacian took out his Pokémon phone, opened the teleportation menu, randomly selected a novice village on an island in the deep sea, and teleported there. Soon after, Zacian appeared next to the Pokémon Center on the island. On the island, there are players coming and going, and many players are still shouting for equipment. These people are obviously new players who have entered the game, and are equipped with blank equipment. Speaking of which, during the period when Zacian was away from the main world, MC Pokémon received a huge influx of players. Now, this game has basically become popular all over the world. Not only that, it has also attracted a large number of business groups to settle in. The current Xinsha village has changed drastically, with buildings rising from the ground. Taking the original site of Novice Village as the scope, it will expand outward infinitely. For example, the island where Zacian is currently located has taken on the form of a modern city, with various houses, villas, etc., and various commercial streets have also been formed. For example, at this moment, what catches Zacian's attention is a huge sign that reads, Lanteng Villa, offering you a 5-star house in the game. Of course, in addition to this, the players on the ranking list also change from time to time, with the new generation replacing the old ones. Ultimately, few players can stay there for a long time. Speaking of which, Zacian hasn't had a ranked battle for a long time. It just so happens that next time, he will have relatively free time, so he can collect Pokémons and compete in ranked battles at the same time. Later, Zacian came to the beach, preparing to hunker down for a rare aquatic Pokémon. Zacian took out the super fishing rod from his backpack and threw the float out. Then the ranking system was activated, and the matches began. The float landed on the sea, and after waiting for a minute or two, there was movement. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. When Zacian raised the rod, he caught a level 46 giant claw crab. Speaking of which, although he caught a giant claw crab in the previous fishing competition, he didn't catch it, so there is no information about the giant claw crab in the illustrated book. Zacian directly threw out the level 50 walnut dumbbell, and with some grass type skills, he beat the giant claw crab into half a pulp. After that, Zacian threw out a high level ball, and soon after, he subdued the giant claw crab. Shortly after subduing the giant claw crab, a reminder suddenly appeared in front of Zacian's eyes. Ding. The match was successful. Do you want to participate in the battle? Yes. After Zacian confirmed, he was transferred to a virtual battlefield. At this moment, in front of Zacian was a player named Taksu Wuhan. Tatsuzu Wuhan entered the battle without any nonsense and directly released his Pokémon, the level 45 Turnip Emperor. Speaking of which, the advanced trainer level is now considered an average player, and the players who are famous on the ranking list are basically the king trainer level. After entering the heavenly king trainer rank, the war between hundreds of stars began. Only after reaching the peak of the heavenly king 100 stars can one be promoted to champion trainer. This Taksu Wuhan did not pay attention to his opponent's name. In his opinion, this was just a ranking battle for senior trainers. He did not know that in front of him at this moment was the legendary leader of the Pokémon ranking list Red. Seeing this, Zacian also smiled slightly and then released the first Pokémon, the level 50 Nut Dumbbell. Nut Dumbbell. Taksu Wuhan frowned when he saw the Nut Dumbbells released from the opposite side. Nut Dumbbell is a grass and steel type Pokémon, and it has some restrictions on his Turnip Emperor in terms of attributes. However, even if the attributes are somewhat disadvantageous, he will not give up so easily. Whether you win or lose, you will not know until you play. I don't know what level the opponent's dumbbells are. Taksu Wuhan was moved in his heart and then took the initiative to launch the attack. Emperor Turnip, use bluff. The effect of bluffing is to irritate the opponent and confuse them. Due to anger, the opponent's attack power will also greatly increase. When Taksu Wuhan finished speaking, Emperor Turnip also sneered at the dumbbell in front, shouted a few times, and began to taunt. To be honest, the effects of some auxiliary skills are quite obvious. Nut Dumbbell was ridiculed by Emperor Turnip, and there was indeed anger in his eyes. Nut Dumbbell waved her spiked balls, eager to attack Emperor Turnip immediately, so that he could know how powerful he was. Nut Dumbbell was apparently in a state of confusion. Seeing this, Zacian raised his eyebrows. He naturally knew the effect of bluffing. However, things like chaos are useless. Sometimes they are quite disgusting. If you are not good at it, you will attack yourself. In fact, it all depends on fate. Then, Zacian smiled lightly and said, Nut Dumbbell, heavy whipping. In the chaos, Nut Dumbbell vaguely heard Zacian's order, and quickly extended the two spiked balls, and began to crazily whip at the opposite Emperor Nabo. In this situation, the Nut Dumbbells are like holding a small whip. Seeing this, Emperor Nabo also kept jumping, trying to avoid Nut Dumbbell's attack. However, Nut Dumbbell's skill was extremely powerful, and coupled with its restrained attribute, Emperor Nabo was still whipped several times without warning. Emperor Nabo's blood volume was reduced by half. Of course, Nut Dumbbell also attacked him a few times in the chaos, but his blood volume did not drop much. Emperor Nabo, sword dance, random strikes. The face of Taxu Wuhan on the opposite side changed slightly, and he quickly gave the order again. After hearing the order, Emperor Nabo endured his injuries and attacked again. Seeing this, Zacian only smiled lightly and then said, Nut Dumbbell, take root, shake it hard and withdraw it. Although Nut Dumbbell was in a chaotic state, Zacian's order was still carried out. Its spiked chassis was deeply embedded in the ground and a green light continued to condense on it from the ground. At the same time, it waved its huge spiked ball and began to launch a fierce attack on Emperor Nabo. Soon after, Emperor Nabo fell onto the field and Nut Dumbbell was released from its chaotic state at this moment. However, its blood volume has also decreased a lot, 2/3 remaining. Tuxu Wuhan took a deep breath, and after retrieving the Turnip Emperor, he released the second Pokémon, the level 49 ICV. Seeing this, Zacian also retrieved the Walnut Dumbbells, and after thinking for a while, he directly released Pikachu. Speaking of which, this kind of battle is actually not interesting at all, and it doesn't feel evenly matched. In fact, Zacian still enjoys the kind of exciting battles, where you can go with the wind and waves, throw against the wind, you can fight 5 alone when you advance, and you can sit back and wait for 20 shots when you retreat. Moreover, the main reason for ranking up is to quickly improve your ranking, so there is no need to waste time. Zacian is already planning to end the battle quickly. The next scene made the opponent, Tuxu Wuhan, dumbfounded. Pikachu instantly killed his ICV with one blow. Not only that, the next battle is even more outrageous. The level 51 Dragon Rider, level 55 Water Arrow Turtle, level 50 Flame Chicken, and level 49 Flame Monkey were all instantly killed by this Pikachu in one hit. How is this possible? This made Tuxu Wuhan almost doubt his life as he stepped out of the virtual battlefield. Isn't this an evenly matched battle for the advanced trainer level? How could such a powerful player sneak in? Chapter 191, a fight caused by a fishing rod. After Zacian exited the virtual battlefield, a message appeared in front of him. Ding. Congratulations to player Kai for winning, gaining 1 battle point, and successfully being promoted to 2-star advanced trainer, 0/5. Zacian looked at the floats in the sea, and was still fishing. There was no movement, so he continued to match them. Soon, Zacian faced his opponent again. As always, the opponent was directly defeated by Zacian. Zacian was fishing and ranking at the same time. His rank improved rapidly, and he was soon promoted to the rank of 1-star elite trainer. At the same time, all the Pokémons he was carrying were upgraded to level 100 by him, and his skill mastery was also fully maximized. Ding. Congratulations to player Kai for winning, gaining 1 battle point, and successfully being promoted to the rank of senior trainer level. Above senior trainers is the master trainer level. Players who can reach this level only account for about 5% of the entire server. Zacian had just teleported from the virtual battle center when he suddenly found 3 or 4 players walking not far away. Boy, which guild player are you from? Don't you know that this is already our Shadow Guild's territory? The player who spoke was a player called Zaoshianayu, who seemed to be the leader of these players. Hearing this, Zaoshian was stunned for a moment, then looked at these players, then retrieved the float on the surface of the sea and asked doubtfully, "The territory of the Shadow Guild? It seems that there is no territory mark here, right?" Generally speaking, it is said that the area occupied by a guild has a guild logo. If the player is not a member of this guild, after entering the guild area, a prompt to enter the guild will appear XX. Zaoshian has stayed on this beach for so long and there is no notice that he has entered the Shadow Guild's territory. It can be seen that this is not the territory of the Shadow Guild as mentioned by these players at all. Thinking of this, Zaoshian's brows wrinkled. At this moment, Zaoshianayu looked at the super fishing rod in Zaoshian's hand, a fiery flash in his eyes. He had seen Zaoshian fishing here from afar and also recognized the quality of the fishing rod in Zaoshian's hand. If he remembered correctly, this should be a top quality fishing rod and there is a certain chance of catching rare Pokémons. Moreover, he also observed Zaoshian for a long time and found that this player was wearing rookie equipment and not wearing a suit or anything. Not only that, there is no sign of power above his head. Although it was just a name, he had seen many players with only one name. This should be an ordinary player. It seems that this person was able to get a super fishing rod just by being lucky. In previous games, there were many such players, but with the power of the Shadow Guild, there was no fear of revenge from such weak players. Also, isn't it very common in games to kill people, blow up equipment, and crouch people down? Zaoshianayu wants this fishing rod. Boy, after staying in our Shadow Guild's territory for so long, you must pay some rent, Zaoshianayu said with a glint in his eyes always staring at the super fishing rod in Zaoshian's hand. Is there any mark here that is Shadow Guild territory? Are you deliberately looking for trouble? I advise you not to bother me and get as far away as you can. Zaoshianayu said lightly. He finally realized that these people were deliberately looking for trouble. When Zaoshianayu heard this, his expression suddenly turned cold. He had just switched to this game a while ago, and with the support of the Shadow Guild, he had been leveling up without any danger. Although the Shadow Guild was established relatively late, it is still one of the top 100 guilds in the entire server, and occupies dozens of newbie villages. With the support of the Shadow Guild, when had he ever been bullied like this? Zaoshianayu became furious. He glared at Zaoshian and said with a sneer, "Kit, are you sure you want to go against our Shadow Guild? I'll give you another chance. You should think about it. Be careful before you speak. I'll take your hand. Throw me your fishing rod and I might let you go. Otherwise, hey, I'll just ask someone to block you and you'll lose your team if you die in this game, right? Don't blame me for bullying you." After Zaoshianayu said this, he looked at Zaoshian with a playful expression. "That's right, Kit, do you know who you're talking to? Are you that arrogant? Let me tell you, our brother Zao is also the strongest king in heroes. If you piss off brother Zao, you will be left with nothing to eat." And at the same time, the few losers following him also gathered around him, all chirping in agreement. Zaoshian glanced at the player called Zaoshianayu and said disdainfully, "Idiot." Zaoshian finally understood at this moment that his true purpose should be the super fishing rod in his hand. He just didn't get it. He was obviously the overlord on the Pokemon tier list. Why would someone with no eyes come to harass him? Could it be because he was absent from the main world for too long and then forgot about it? This isn't right either. He remembered that when he conquered the Phoenix King before, there was an announcement across the entire server, right? Most players should know about it. In fact, what Zaoshian doesn't know is that with the popularity of MC Pokémon, more and more players have abandoned other games and thrown themselves into them. During this period of time, many players have just entered this sector, so they still don't understand some of the players who were previously on the list. And this, Zaoshianayu, is one of them. "You are looking for death." Zaoshianayu heard this and immediately became furious. He stared at Zaoshian with evil eyes and said coldly, "Since you are so ignorant of current affairs, don't blame me for ruining you. Up." This Zaoshianayu is still as domineering as ever. Nonsense. Shadow Guild is also a well-known game studio in the country. His brother, Zao Xians, is one of the top 100 players on the ranking list and has participated in the internal competition. Also, this Zao Xianyu is also the strongest king in Legacy of Heroes, and with the support of his brother, how can he put ordinary players in his eyes? Hey, guys, please lower your voice, don't let him hear you. Zao Xianyu is famous for being vengeful. I remember in Legacy of Heroes, a player was killed by him because he stole your monster. I've been stuck in traffic for a month and I don't even dare to leave the main city. Many new players standing on the beach started talking cautiously when they saw this scene. Speaking of which, the veteran players have basically gone to all the main open maps, and those still staying in Novice Village are basically new players who have just joined the game. Hearing Zao Xianyu's threatening words, Zao Xian smiled disdainfully and said lightly, "I want to see if you can blow up my equipment." To be honest, Zao Xian was also a little speechless. What are you doing in the game? Don't you know, if there are deaths in the mall, that don't go down? Also, will it be possible for them to survive the summer? Boy, who do you think you are? You are arrogant in front of me and seeking death. Zao Xianyu shouted coldly, then took out his Pokemon Ball and threw it out. A white light flashed, and a level 54 fire-breathing dragon appeared on the beach. In fact, Zao Xianyu's own Pokemon is only over 30 levels, and this fire-breathing dragon is the second level Pokemon given to him by his brother. Although level 54 is nothing in the eyes of some high-level players, it is more than enough to deal with an ordinary player. Thinking of this, Zao Xianyu snorted and directly ordered, "Charizard, spray flames." Zao Xian sneered and released Pikachu directly. 100,000 volts, kill it. Charizard opened its mouth, and as soon as a jet of flame sprayed out from its mouth, a golden beam quickly arrived and hit Charizard hard. Boom. Charizard's ability to breathe flames was directly interrupted by the Pikachu's 100,000 volt move. Not only that, but it also caused huge damage to the fire-breathing dragon. In an instant, Charizard's health hit rock bottom, it lost its ability to fight, and fell to the ground. How is this possible? Seeing this scene, Zao Xianyu's face suddenly showed an expression of horror and disbelief. How could he instantly kill my brother's Charizard with just one move? Chapter 192 Map of the Orange Islands. Subajan's request. Zao, brother Zao, look at that Pikachu's level. Just as Zao Xianyu was stunned, a boy beside him suddenly pointed at Zao Xian's Pikachu and stammered. Zao Xianyu also realized at this moment that he hadn't looked at this Pikachu's level yet. When he saw the level 100 mark on Pikachu's head, he was stunned. What the heck? Level 100. Zao Xianyu rubbed his eyes, thinking that he had seen it wrong. However, when he placed his eyes on Pikachu's head again, the LV100 logo clearly appeared in front of him. How is this possible? Zao Xianyu's eyes widened, as if he had seen a ghost. Level 100. The people around saw a look of shock on their faces as Pikachu killed Charizard with a single move. When they saw Pikachu's level, everyone was shocked. Damn, level 100 Pikachu. How is this possible? Even the boss on the ladder seems to be only around level 70. You know, the higher the level of the Pokemon, the more experience points are required. The higher. I seem to know who the peaked cap player is. The perennial leader on the Pokemon ranking list, Kai. As soon as he said this, everyone around him was stunned. Immediately, he looked at Zao Xian carefully and saw the name, Kai, above his head. Damn, it's the Great Red God. It's really the Great Red God. Haha, now there's something interesting to see. This, Zao Xianyu, is provoking the Great Red God. Big change. If the Shadow Guild's president knew that Zao Xianyu provoked the overlord of the Pokemon ranking list, he would be very angry. Perhaps even though Kaidashan isn't on the ranking list, there is still one. Talk about him. The legend. The players around them looked at Zao Xianyu with amusement in their eyes. Zao, brother Zao, it seems that we have provoked someone that we shouldn't have provoked. This player seems to be the overlord of the Pokémon ranking list, the mysterious player Kai. Once we hit the wall. Let's go. The boys beside Zhao Shai and Ayu took a few steps back with fear on their faces. They never imagined that, by choosing a random player to find trouble, they would actually find trouble on the head of the dominant player on the Pokémon list. Isn't this bad luck? Zhao Shai and Ayu was also a little confused at this moment. Although he had heard that Kai was a very powerful person before, he didn't expect to meet him here. At first I thought he was an ordinary player, but I didn't expect him to be so famous. Furthermore, I provoked him. If the other party holds a grudge, it may bring unpredictable consequences to the Shadow Guild. If his brother were to find out about this, he would be furious. Thinking of this, Zhao Shai and Ayu was also a little speechless. He then looked at Zhao Shai and said sincerely, "Brother, I was in the wrong this time. I didn't expect to meet the big boss. I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Zhao Shai and Ayu, this person also knows the importance. He is a typical person who bullies the weak and fears the strong. He knows that he cannot defeat the opponent, and that it may cause big trouble, so he immediately gives up. "Oh, that's not what you just said." Zhao Shai sneered, looked at Zhao Shai and Ayu coldly, and said lightly, "Didn't you just say that you were going to blow up my equipment? Why have you changed your tone now?" Hearing this, Zhao Shai and Ayu's heart suddenly tightened, knowing that this matter couldn't be resolved without severe bleeding. "Brother, I was blind just now. Let's forget about it. I will never cause you trouble again. I have a special item here as an apology. I hope brother will let me go." He took out something from his backpack, handed it to Zhao Shai, and said, "This is obtained from an epic task. It's a map called Orange Islands. We don't know where it is, so I haven't. I looked for it. By the way, there's another quest item here that I can give you." While saying that, Zhao Shai and Ayu took out another box-like item from his backpack and handed it to Zhao Shai. Zhao Shai gave Zhao Shai and Ayu a playful look and took what he handed over. Orange Islands map, a map marking the main islands of the Orange Islands. Southern Cross badge box. Special quest props. After collecting 4 Southern Cross badges, you can go to Novice Village on Island 10,086 and look for Mr. Muto to receive the reward. Seeing the information displayed above, Zhao Shai was also a little surprised. Unexpectedly, there were quest props about the Orange Islands. If this isn't enough, you can also blow us up. I just hope that you won't cause trouble for the Shadow Guild in the future." Zhao Shai and Ayu gritted his teeth and said hesitantly. Zhao Shai glanced at Zhao Shai and Ayu and the others, put away the 2 props, and said lightly, "Go away. Don't let me see you again in the future. You." Speaking of which, the 2 people don't have much hatred. It's just a game. Zhao Shai and Ayu, although he bullies the weak and fears the strong, he is also quite aware of the current situation. Knowing that he couldn't defeat Zhao Shai, he quickly apologized. These 2 props are relatively rare, so just let them go this time. If anyone in the Shadow Guild dares to provoke him again, he will be destroyed. With his level 100 Pokémon, Zhao Shai believes that he still has the ability to do so. "Yes, I promise, as long as the people of our Shadow Guild see you, they will turn away." Zhao Shai and Ayu heard this, his face suddenly brightened, and he quickly nodded. Then, he took a few younger brothers and left in a hurry. Zhao Shai also snorted coldly when he saw this, and then put away the super fishing rod. I don't know how far Zhao's plot has progressed, but I can go to the Orange Islands and take a look. Zhao Shai has basically collected the Pokémons that can be caught in the deep sea, so he plans to change locations. Just as Zhao Shai took out his Pokémon phone and searched for the next location, a message suddenly popped up in the information bar of his chat. Zhao Shai was stunned for a moment, then clicked on it and looked a little surprised. "This is news from Beijun, Fengling Jiuxiao. Zhao Shai, do you have time? We have a task here, which is a little difficult to complete. I would like to ask you to come help me." After the 2 of them finished drinking last time, they also added friends to the game. It seemed like they hadn't been in contact for some time. Zhao Shai smiled and then replied with a message. "If you have time, what tasks should you do? Send me the location." Fengling Jiuxiao, I'll tell you the specific mission after you come. come to the Pokemon Center in Novice Village number 1948 to find me. Okay. After Zarshan replied to the message, he took out his Pokemon phone and found out the location of Novice Village number 1948. He spent 500 Pokemon coins and sent it directly. Zarshan is still a little curious about Subajan's mission. Logically speaking, she is the president of the largest female player guild on the server, so there should be no shortage of talent under her. Why would you think of asking her to help you complete the task? Moreover, Subajan's own strength is not bad. At least she is currently ranked in the top 200 and can be considered a high-level player. Therefore, Zarshan will feel very confused by this. In this case, this mission should be an extraordinary one. In the transition chapter, I didn't think about how to lead to the next plot, so I had to arrange a supporting role first. I found this in the character building in the comment area. Funny. 0.0. Chapter 193 Epic Mission. Challenge in Gale Valley. Not long after, Zarshan arrived at the Novice Village, where Subajan was now. After entering the Pokémon Center, Zarshan met Subajan and several key members of his studio. Zarshan, are you here? When Subajan saw Zarzar, a smile appeared on his face. Zarshan smiled and nodded. The two chatted for a while, and then Zarshan asked, by the way, what task do you need help with? When Subajan heard this, he took out a task log and handed it over. Zarshan said, a few days ago, we activated an epic quest. After completing this quest, you can not only greatly improve your rank, but also obtain magic candies, character experience, and other things. On top of that, the most important thing is to gain information about the legendary ghost Pokemon's Aurora. Zarshan also had a surprised expression on his face when he heard the name. Yes. Subajan nodded and continued, this quest is to go to Gale Valley and use a team of 6 Pokemon to challenge 50 NPCs with a Pokemon level of 70 in a row. All the top players have gone to Gale Valley to challenge, but unfortunately, we didn't make it to the end. Your Pokemon level is very high, you should be able to pass this quest, right? Subajan set his gaze on Zarshan. On the body, he asked with a smile. Challenge 50 NPCs in a row? Although this task seems easy, for them it is actually a hellish difficulty. After all, except for Zarshan who is at the full level across all servers, the highest level on the ranking list is only level 73. Not to mention challenging 50 NPCs in a row, even challenging 10 NPCs is enough. Yes, it is really too difficult. As long as you determine the team to challenge, you won't be able to change the Pokémon in the team. Those NPC Pokémon can also perform Mega Evolutions, making the challenge much more difficult. I can only defeat 15 NPCs at most, and I can't level up. Kaidash is now the highest level player on the server. It should be easier to complete this quest, right? Several female players besides Subajan said. This quest is somewhat difficult. I can try, but I can't guarantee that I can pass it. Zarshan thought for a moment and said, well, our guild asked for help with this task. You will get half of the reward after you level up. Subajan said with a smile. That's not necessary. I'm not sure I can level up. Zarshan shook his head and said, to be honest, although his Pokemon's level has reached level 100, based on regular battles, it is still difficult to defeat 50 NPC trainers in a row. Okay, I'll include you in the team first. Subajan looked at Zarshan, nodded, and then pulled Zarshan into the work team. After joining Subajan's team, Zarshan went to the location where the mission was carried out with Subajan and others. Soon, Zarshan arrived at Gale Valley under the leadership of Subajan and others. Gale Valley is situated in a high mountain terrain. This was an accidental opportunity. When a female player from the Peerless Fenghua guild was squatting here as an elf, she discovered a task triggered by an NPC outside the valley. She attempted her own challenge, but was eliminated without even passing the first level. After challenging several times in a row, the female player also broke down a little. This challenging task was really too difficult. Finally, as a last resort, this quest was spread to the guild. During this period, Subajan and others were busy challenging this task, but without exception, they failed. Finally, at someone's suggestion, Kai, who was number 1 in the server, was invited to challenge. This opinion is supported by the vast majority of the guild members. After all, up to now, Zarshan is the only player in the entire server who has reached the full level. Moreover, he has also completed epic hidden quests to unlock new maps and has experience in hidden quests. This is what Subajin and others told Zarshan when they were traveling. Standing outside Gale Valley, an old man dressed in a blue uniform appeared in front of Zarshan. Zarshan, the old man dressed in blue, is the quest editor. You can only trigger the quest by talking to him. By the way, look at the stone slab next to it. It shows the highest level. Let every player challenge. Subajin pointed at a stone slab on the mountain wall and said to Zarshan. Zarshan nodded and then looked at the stone slab on the mountain wall and found that the player with the highest level had only reached level 25 and there were still at least half of the NPCs missing to complete the level. Not only that, the player with the highest clearance level currently ranks first on the World Nuclear Leveling ranking list. Then I'll enter first, Zarshan said to Subajin, and then walked towards the blue uniformed NPC. Hello, I'm here to challenge Gale Valley. Zarshan said to the blue uniformed NPC. Please show me the challenge record. The blue uniformed NPC nodded and then said. Zarshan nodded and then handed the challenge record in his hand to the blue uniformed NPC. This was given to him by Subajin before. Only with this challenge record will he be able to carry out the Gale Valley challenge. Of course, this challenge log can be used 100 times, and it has been used 67 times so far. After the NPC took the challenge log handed over by Zarshan, he nodded and said to Zarshan, Gale Valley is a strange land of illusions, which will randomly hallucinate powerful trainers. I want to pass all the levels. It is absolutely impossible without a certain level of strength. Player Kai, are you sure you want to accept this challenge? Hearing the blue uniformed NPC's question, Zarshan smiled and nodded, of course. The blue uniformed NPC nodded. Ding. Will player Kai receive the epic quest, Trial at Gale Valley? After completing the quest, you will receive quest rewards, legendary badge. You can use this badge to advance to a higher rank, Z bracelet, character experience worth 100,000 points, 50 magic candies, 50,000 Pokémon coins, a fantasy Pokémon Zeraora token. Yes. Zarshan directly chose yes. Please choose 6 Pokémon to challenge. Then, a light curtain appeared in front of Zarshan's eyes, and on the light curtain was a list of all his Pokémon. Speaking of which, he currently has too many Pokémon, and the list is more than 10 pages long. Zarshan thought for a moment and selected Charizard, Biting Landshark, Gardevoir, Flag, Lugia, and Pikachu. In fact, it doesn't matter which Pokémon he chooses. After all, he has quite a few maximum level Pokémon. After choosing the Pokémon, the NPC in a blue uniform said to Zarshan, please enter Gale Valley to challenge. After the challenge is successful, you will be able to obtain rich rewards. Let's go, young man. Finished speaking, a door similar to a teleportation channel opened in front of Zarshan. Zarshan nodded and then walked towards the door. Subajin told him that the intelligence of the NPC trainers in Gale Valley was no weaker than that of the gym trainers. Even more improved. Not only that, the blood volume of the Pokémon on their hands and the power of their skills have increased greatly. The skill level is probably maximum doubt. In addition, every NPC trainer has a Pokémon that can Mega Evolve and use Z moves. As time goes by, many bosses appear in the game, and most players have the ability to Mega Evolve. There are also many players who have collected Z crystals and Z bracelets. It can be said that these two pillars have greatly improved the strength of the players. 50 NPCs. This mission is quite difficult. Zarshan's eyes flashed, and a faint smile appeared on his face. However, he believed that with his 6 fully qualified Pokémon, he should be able to successfully level up. Chapter 194, Rock Battlefield, The Last Divine Beast. After entering Gale Valley, Zarshan arrived at a palace-like arena. Just as he entered the palace, all the lights in the palace suddenly lit up in an instant. In the bright hall, there was a girl in a white uniform, standing quietly on the other side of the battlefield. The battlefield in the palace was filled with uneven rocks, which was obviously a rock battlefield. Generally speaking, the NPC trainers challenging Pokémon in the battlefield have similar attributes. This NPC's Pokémon should be either a rock type or a ground type, right? Zacian guessed in his heart. Welcome here, brave challenger. Since you have the courage to challenge Gale Valley, then show me your strength now. The girl's eyes fell on Zacian and she said, as you wish. Zacian said lightly. As soon as he finished speaking, the girl in front released her first level 70 Pokémon, Rumble Rock. To be honest, it's still a bit tricky to fight against rock type Pokémon. After all, among the Pokémon Zacian is currently carrying, there are basically no Pokémon that can hold back rock type Pokémon. However, it is not impossible to fight. Go, Lugia. After thinking about it, Zacian released the first Pokémon, Lugia. Although Lugia is a super absorbing and flying type Pokémon, its attributes are somewhat restricted by the rock type Pokémon. However, Lugia is capable of performing water-based skills, so it is relatively easy to fight against rock-based skills. Moreover, although its attributes are somewhat restricted, Lugia's level is still 30 levels higher than that of Rumble Rock. This is the biggest advantage. Challenger, I didn't expect you to be the trainer of the sea god. After seeing the Pokémon released in the summer, the little girl also had a surprised expression on her face. Okay. Zacian said lightly. Langarn, polish the rock, and then attack with sharp stones. The NPC girl said directly, prompting Langarn to launch the attack. As soon as the girl finished speaking, Langarn's round body rolled over, rubbed against the ground, and began to soften. After being polished, the rumbling rock hit the rocks in the field, causing several pieces of gravel to collapse. Then it was thrown out with all its strength and shot towards Lugia in the air. Lugia, fly and avoid it. Seeing this, Zacian just smiled slightly and directly ordered. Lugia listened to Zacian's order and flew directly towards the top of the palace, avoiding the rocks that were shot from rumbling rock. Please rain. Zacian was not polite. Since he had to deal with rock and ground Pokémon, he had to strengthen his water type moves. As for the water type moves that Lugia has learned, there are only two skills, Rain Seeking and Water Cannon assists, and Water Cannon is the main attack. However, although Water Cannon is relatively powerful and can restrain rock and ground Pokémon, it is easy to avoid. If you use the Rain Seeking skill, it will be more useful for the upcoming battle. At least it can displease the opponent. Roar. After Zacian's words fell, Lugia, who was suspended in the air, roared, and then a large dark cloud condensed on top of the palace. Speaking of which, this palace is quite tall, at least 30 meters tall, which is enough to accommodate the flying Pokémon's fighting. As the dark clouds gathered, a drizzle soon fell on the rock battlefield. Although the raindrops would not cause any harm to Langarn, they made Langarn feel extremely uncomfortable, with an awkward expression on her face. The little girl also frowned and ordered, Rock Blast. Hearing the order, Langarn also smashed the rock in front of her at an extremely fast speed, then grabbed the gravel and aimed at Rocky in the air. After throwing out the gravel in his hand, Langarn continued to smash the stones, throwing the gravel 4 or 5 times in a row. In an instant, the rubble shot out like a shower of bullets, almost blocking Lugia's flight path in the air. Seeing this scene, Zacian's expression did not change, and he said lightly, Water Cannon, block it. As soon as Zacian finished speaking, Lugia in the air opened its mouth and a huge column of water sprayed out. It surged out and knocked down the gravel one by one. Use Water Cannon on Rumble Rock. After blocking the rock explosion, Zacian directly asked Lugia to launch an attack. Lugia glided from the air and approached Rumble Rock at high speed. When it was not far away, a huge column of water spurted out of Lugia's mouth. Get away. The girl's expression changed, and she quickly ordered. When Langarn saw the spray of water, a flash of fear flashed in her eyes. Due to the effect of the previous rock grinding, its speed had increased a lot. At least dragging its bulky body is relatively fast. Soon, Langarn hid behind a huge rock. Lugia's water cannon attack hit the rock with great power, directly breaking the rock and instantly hitting the rumbling rock hiding behind. Roar. After receiving this attack, Langan suddenly screamed, and its blood volume also instantly dropped, bottoming out. Then, it fell to the field, and lost the ability to fight. How is it possible? How can it be so powerful? The girl was dumbfounded. Logically, although the water cannon is very powerful, it is also difficult to break rocks. Zacian only smiled lightly at this. Each of his full level Pokémons has reached full level skill mastery, which can be said to have maximized their power. Coupled with the previous move of praying for rain, the power of water based skills is greatly increased. It is not very difficult to directly break rocks and hit the rumbling rock behind. Go. Spiny Ammonite Beast. The little girl looked at Zacian, then put on her second Pokémon, a level 70 Spiny Ammonite Beast. It turned out to be a Spiny Ammonite Beast. Zacian was a little surprised. Pokémons like the Spiny Ammonite Beast were relatively rare, and it doesn't normally spawn, and can only be resurrected by using the fossil resurrection machine. Speaking of which, Zacian didn't even have a fossilized Pokémon in his hand. What fossil pterosaurs, sickle-shaped helmets, tentacle lilies, etc. These Pokémons were resurrected from fossils, and their fossils can only be found at the bottom of the deep sea or through mining. After completing this task, let's see if anyone sells fossils. Zacian thought in his heart, replaced Lugia, and released Gardevoir. Gardevoir, be mentally strong. After Zacian finished speaking, Gardevoir's eyes suddenly burst into a light blue light, and then an invisible but majestic wave of mental power surged out, directly covering the entire place. Then, the thorny Ammonite Beast in front felt a terrifying wave of telekinesis coming from all directions. Boom. 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 The thorny Ammonite Beast only felt that its body was hit by a huge force, and a dull sound erupted, as if the shell of its body was about to break. I saw that the thorny Ammonite Beast's blood volume was also rapidly decreasing, and only 1/3 was left in an instant. This Gardevoir is actually so powerful. Seeing this situation, the NPC girl frowned deeply. Thorny Ammonite Beast, break the shell and roll. The thought flashed past, and the NPC girl directly gave the order. Hearing the order, the thorny Ammonite Beast screamed, threw away the shell on its back, then curled up its entire body, and rolled towards Gardevoir. Moreover, as it rolled, the thorny Ammonite Beast's body also grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. Boom. 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 The huge boulder blocking the front was directly shattered by the thorny Ammonite Beast, and crushed onto it. Looking at the thorny Ammonite Beast rolling towards him, Gardevoir's face also showed a solemn look. Teleport and avoid. Zacian's eyes flashed and he ordered. Hearing the order, Gardevoir's figure suddenly changed, and as the thorny Ammonite Beast was crushing him, he teleported not far away. Although the thorny Ammonite Beast missed its attack, it continued to chase after Gardevoir and crush him. The rolling skill is continuous, and the more time passes, the more powerful the rolling skill becomes. Gardevoir, Magic Blade. At this moment, Zacian suddenly said. Gardevoir, who was originally moving, immediately stopped after hearing Zacian's order. At this moment, the thorny Ammonite Beast also rolled with a roar, and the rocks along the way were crushed one by one. Gardevoir's eyes bloomed with a blue light and two magic blades suddenly condensed in her hands. Then, she shot towards the rolling thorny Ammonite Beast. When the NPC girl saw this, her face changed slightly, and she quickly shouted, "Thorny Ammonite Beast, use the rocks in front to avoid it," attempting to use the stone as a springboard to bombard Gardevoir. However, the NPC girl mistakenly underestimated the power of Gardevoir's magic blades. Two magic blades pierced through the rock, splitting it in an instant, and the thorny Ammonite Beast's plan failed. Not only that, after the magic blades pierced through the rock, they slid through an arc in the air, then suddenly retreated and continued to attack the thorny Ammonite Beast. No. However, before the girl could give the order, the magic blade hit the thorny Ammonite Beast hard. In an instant, the thorny Ammonite Beast's blood volume also instantly bottomed out. It lost its ability to fight, and fell to the field. The NPC girl looked a little solemn, took a deep breath, and then released the third Pokémon, the level 70 Archaeopter bird. However, under Gardevo's strong attack, it quickly lost its ability to fight. Not only that, but the 4th level 70 Monster Jaw Dragon and the 5th level 70 Ice and Snow Dragon were defeated one by Gardevo. Therefore, the NPC girl only has one Pokémon left. Go, my ace. The NPC girl didn't waste any time and directly released the last Pokémon. Will there be mythical beasts again? When Zacian saw the NPC girl's last Pokémon, he was stunned for a moment, with a surprised expression on his face. Chapter 195 Diamond Princess, Big Showdown. This is a Pokémon with a round pink diamond on its head and a crown made of octahedral diamonds. There is also a rhombus-shaped diamond on this Pokémon's neck. The upper body is like a white skirt, and the lower body is similar to a small diamond, exposing an even diamond ore. This Pokémon is surprisingly the ghost Pokémon with rock and fairy attributes. Diancie. Challenger, I have to admit that I underestimated you. You are stronger than I thought. This is my final trump card. Diamond Princess, Diancie. Diamonds that exist in eternity. The raging soul, the body that resists power. Come here. Super Diancie. As the girl said these words, the evolution keystone shining with colorful light on her wrist was revealed. Echoing the evolution keystone, the evolution stone hanging on Diancie's chest bloomed with a dazzling light. In an instant, a pink light illuminated the entire palace. Boom. The aura on Diancie's body, bathed in pink light, grew stronger and stronger, and then a wave of energy surged out, as if the entire palace was shaking. Not long after, Diancie finally completed her mega evolution. After the super evolution, the diamonds on Diancie's head became heart-shaped, 2 white gauze ribbons hung from the crown, and the bow-shaped rings increased to 3, located under the neck, waist, and skirt-like structure. The lower body is replaced by large diamonds, surrounded by multiple long diamond strips, with several small octahedral diamonds at the ends of the ribbons and strips. The gauze-like figure looked like a bride about to get married. Princess Black Carbon. When Zacian saw the super evolved Diancie, a flash of surprise flashed in his eyes. I have to say that after Princess Black Carbon completed her super evolution, his entire temperament changed. In that case, let's do it too. Gardevo, Mega Evolution. Zacian didn't say those words like a 2nd grade student. Speaking of which, those words from a 2nd grade student were still a little embarrassing. After the words fell, the keystone on Zacian's wrist suddenly burst into a dazzling light. Gardevo shouted, responding to the ultra-evolved light of the bond, and her entire body was enveloped in a colorful light. As the colorful light bloomed, Gardevo's figure also changed with the light, and the evolution was soon completed. After the super evolution, Gardevo has bigger horns on its head and wears white gloves, but the main changes are still concentrated on the skirt. The skirt part of ordinary Gardevo looks like a normal long skirt, while the skirt part of super evolved Gardevo looks more like an evening dress. In addition, the horns on super Gardevo's chest have become 2. You have actually mastered the power of Mega Evolution. The NPC girl also had a surprised expression on her face at this moment. Is it difficult? Zacian said with a faint smile. Speaking of which, this is Gardevo's first Mega Evolution, since she last obtained the Mega Evolution stone in the final tower. But it seems that the needle doesn't break. She is very beautiful, and is worthy of being called my wife self. Diancie, use Diamond Storm. The NPC girl looked at the super Gardevo on the field and suddenly a smile appeared on her face. Seeing the smile on the girl's face, Zacian was slightly surprised, and suddenly thought that Diancie before evolving, had the characteristic of eternal pure body. The super evolved Diancie has the properties of a magic mirror, and can recover all the special transformation moves. However, the problem is not that big. After all, Gardevo's attack method does not rely mainly on those auxiliary skills. When the girl finished speaking, a huge pink diamond suddenly condensed in Super Diancie's hand. The surging energy surged and turned into a storm, sweeping out. Diamond Storm is Diancie's exclusive skill. Not only can it trigger a diamond storm to cause damage, but it can also greatly enhance one's own defense. Overall, it is a powerful skill that combines attack and defense. In an instant, a pink storm of light rushed out of the battlefield and headed towards Gardevo. Gardevo, teleport, get out of the way. Just as the diamond storm was about to engulf Gardevoir, Zacian spoke. When Gardevoir heard Zacian's order, her figure changed, and she directly disappeared back to her original position. In the blink of an eye, she appeared a few meters away. However, this is not the end yet. The diamond storm continues to rage overwhelmingly. Seeing this, Zacian frowned. Gardevoir, move in front of Diancie and use the magic blade. Gardevoir heard the order and once again escaped the attack of the diamond storm, and then appeared in front of Diancie in an instant. Then, two magic blades shot out from Gardevoir's hand and bombarded Diancie. Diancie, wall of light. The NPC girl's face changed slightly. The damage of this magic blade was still very great for Diancie. The 5 Pokémons before her were all defeated by Gardevoir's move. After hearing the order, Diancie held the diamond storm with one hand and condensed a transparent wall in front of her with the other. Boom. The magic blades shot out and hit the wall of light hard, causing the wall of light to shatter. The magic blade continued to move forward like a broken bamboo. However, after being bombarded by the diamond storm, it met with resistance. The effect of the wall of light and the diamond storm gave Diancie a qualitative improvement in her special defense. Although the magic blade's ability is powerful, it is not enough to break this defense. When the girl saw this, she was relieved. However, at this moment, Zacian spoke again. Gardevoir, be mentally strong. Before the NPC girl could speak, Gardevoir's eyes bloomed with a light blue light. Then, a majestic mental wave surged out and overwhelmingly headed towards Diancie. Boom. Diancie felt as if her spiritual world had collapsed and received a violent impact, causing her to retreat 2 steps. With Gardevoir's attack, Diancie's blood volume was reduced by half. Diancie, power gem. The girl looked solemn. She didn't expect the challenger in front of her to be so cunning. The magic leaf only attracted attention. It's really hard to guard against this. Both of these Pokémons have fairy type attributes, so using fairy type skills won't have much effect. Therefore, you can only attack with moves of other attributes. After hearing the order, Diancie condensed a diamond in her hand, bloomed with a dazzling light power, and then threw it towards Gardevoir. Gardevoir, predict the future. Zacian also knew that the attack just now was effective because the other party was careless. Diancie's defensive ability is very strong, and she definitely won't have another chance. Therefore, the only option is to use one of the most powerful ultimate tricks of the superpower system. After hearing the order, Gardevoir immediately began to gather her power. The ability to predict the future will become more powerful the more you concentrate your mental power. Moreover, Gardevoir's telekinesis has firmly locked onto Diancie, giving him no chance to escape. Gardevoir used teleportation to avoid Diancie's attack, while concentrating her telekinesis. Soon, the attack that predicts the future took shape, and Gardevoir has already predicted Diancie's defense method in her mind. The storm of mental power raged violently. In an instant, the entire place seemed to have entered an apocalypse, with a tornado of billowing smoke and dust. Boom. 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 The rocks that the mental power passed through were all crushed into dust. Diancie only felt a world-destroying power enveloping him. Under this terrifying power, he seemed like a small boat in the storm. Boom. Under the attack of Gardevoir, that predicted the future, Diancie's blood volume was instantly emptied. He lost his ability to fight, and fell on the battlefield. The girl fell silent and slowly pushed away Diancie, who had lost the ability to fight. Then, she looked at Zacian, and said in astonishment, "Challenger, your strength is really strong, even better than the challengers I met before. Perhaps you really have a chance to overcome this challenge. Let's move on to the next level." Hearing this, Zacian nodded, and then walked towards the next level of the transmission channel that the NPC girl opened for him. Chapter 196. Are you teaching me how to do something? But that's all. Zacian arrived at the second palace, which was different from the rock battlefield of the first palace. This second palace is a grass battlefield, surrounded by green grass and all kinds of flowers. Obviously, the opponents on this second level should mainly use grass-based Pokémon. On the battlefield in the center of the palace, there was a young man wearing a green vest, standing quietly with his eyes closed. Hearing the footsteps, The young man opened his eyes, looked at Zarshan up and down, and said, "Challenger, I didn't expect you to pass the rock field and come to my grass field so quickly." The young NPC looked at him and said, "Are you surprised?" The young NPC shook his head and said with a smile, "No, she's the weakest among us. Defeat her. Let me end your challenging journey now. Go." Lizard King. With a disdainful expression on his face, the young NPC released his starter Pokémon. With a flash of white light, a level 70 Lizard King appeared on the battlefield. Seeing this, Zarshan also released the starter Pokémon. This time, the first Pokémon he played was Charizard. To deal with grass-type Pokémons, it is natural to use fire-type Pokémons. When the young NPC saw Zarshan's Charizard, he chuckled and said, "A fire-type Charizard. Challenger, a very good way to deal with it. However, I will have you know that in the face of absolute strength, you will find that the attribute restriction is actually just a joke." Zarshan was speechless. When he heard this, he pursed his lips and looked at the young NPC with disdain. This NPC is really arrogant, but he will teach him how to be an NPC. Lizard King, respond to my bond. Mega Evolution. The young NPC shouted, revealing the evolution keystone hanging around his neck. As the light from the evolution keystone was emitted, the Lizard King's body also burst out with a dazzling green light. In less than a moment, the Super Lizard King's evolution was completed. Lizard King, approach the Charizard at high speed, then use cross scissors to attack, the young man ordered with a calm expression. As soon as the young man finished speaking, the Lizard King's figure became illusory, and then he galloped towards the Charizard. Come. As the Lizard King moved at high speed, he placed his hands on his chest, forming a cross, and slammed into Charizard. Charizard throws flames. Zarshan looked at the approaching Lizard King with a calm expression and ordered Charizard. After the fire-breathing dragon heard Zarshan's order, it opened its mouth, and then a burning flame erupted from its mouth, spraying towards the wildly running Lizard King. Seeing this, the young NPC simply looked at the fire-breathing dragon's flames with a calm expression, and said with disdain, "Flames are indeed very lethal to grass Pokémons. However, to my lizard, Wanglei, it has nothing effect whatsoever." Lizard King, transparent. The effect of transparent is to completely resist the opponent's attack. Of course, except for some special skills, most of the damage from the skills can still be resisted. The jet flames are also within the range of vision through resistance. I saw that the jet of flames accurately hit the Lizard King, but it was completely blocked by the Lizard King, without causing any damage to it. Good chance, Lizard King, used to consecutive slashes. When the young man saw the Lizard King resisting the attack of the flames, a proud expression appeared on his face, and then he ordered the Lizard King. The Lizard King originally had grass-type attributes, but after evolving into Super Lizard King, it acquired dragon-type attributes. Therefore, the Lizard King's physical attack power has greatly improved. Zarshan's expression remained unchanged, and he glanced at the young NPC lightly. To be honest, this young NPC's mouth is a bit bad, but that's all. Then, Zarshan said to Charizard, "Hot wind." After Zarshan's words fell, Charizard flapped its wings and flew into the air. The Lizard King's 2 consecutive slashing moves instantly failed. Then, under the control of the fire-breathing dragon, a stream of heat swept across the battlefield. Even the ambient temperature has risen a little. In such high temperatures, the grass on the grass-producing land quickly withered, and large amounts of water vapor evaporated. The Lizard King was burned by the heat and its blood volume was instantly emptied. It lost its ability to fight and fell to the ground. What? The power is so strong. When the young NPC saw this scene, his eyes widened with disbelief on his face. Instant kill with just one move. With just one skill, he killed his own Lizard King instantly. How is this possible? In the past battles, it wasn't like he had never fought against fire-type Pokémons, but his reverse attribute overthrew him. That's it. Zarshan looked at the young NPC with disdain. Not only was his Charizard fully qualified, but it was also fully qualified at level 100. It's not easy to deal with a level 70 Lizard King. Moreover, he hasn't used all his strength yet. Mega Evolution, Extreme Gigantization. Which one is eliminated, is not to beat this young NPC. If this young NPC wasn't just a game show, Zarshan would teach him how to behave. The young NPC took a deep breath, and his tone was still annoyed. Not bad, very good. Challenger, you can defeat my Lizard King, you still have some strength. Me, you're still far behind. The young NPC then released his second Pokémon, a level 70 Lot Kappa. Do you think you're Etches and Ryoma? Charizard, Mega Evolution. Zarshan no longer planned to waste time here, and directly unlocked the first stage of Charizard's power, and displayed the evolution keystone on his wrist. Echoing the evolution keystone, the evolution stone that Charizard was wearing burst out with a dazzling light, enveloping Charizard's entire body. In less than a moment, X's fire-breathing dragon form appeared on the battlefield. Then, under Zarshan's command, this young Lot Kappa quickly fell onto the battlefield. The young NPC's third Pokémon is a level 70 Alola coconut egg tree. In addition to having a longer neck than an ordinary coconut tree, the Alola coconut tree also has a dragon-type superpower. However, it is no match for the fire-breathing dragon. The fire-breathing dragon instantly killed him in one hit. How is this possible? 3 Pokémon fell in a row, leaving the young NPC a little dumbfounded and mentally depressed. However, the battle still has to continue. Afterwards, the young NPC released the 4th Pokémon, the level 70 Broken Flyer. However, the result was still the same. The fire-breathing dragon instantly killed him in one move. The 5th is the level 70 Bank Shaking Carnape. It has no egg effect, and does not harm Charizard at all. Lastly, the young NPC sent out his second trump card, a legendary Pokémon, the King Leguan. The most striking thing about the King of Leguan is the huge dark green cocoon like a crown on its head, with purple patterns on the top of the cocoon. And it is a legendary Pokémon of the superpower type and grass type. Huh, there really is a divine beast. When Zarshan saw the last Pokémon released by the young NPC, there was a hint of surprise on his face. However, soon, the surprise on Zarshan's face disappeared. It's just a grass-type mythical beast. You know, his Charizard has beaten even a level 90 alpaca. That's the creator god. Although it's not the true god of creation, it's not comparable to Leguan Wang. Sure enough, the final result of the battle did not exceed Zarshan's expectations. This Leguan Wang did not last long under the fierce attack of the fire-breathing dragon. Right before the demise of the young NPC, he was beaten. That's all? Your strength is not that great either. You seem to be weaker than the trainers in the rock field, but that's all. Zarshan looked at the young NPC with a dull face and said lightly, "You." When the young NPC heard Zarshan's words, his face turned blue and purple, and his expression changed with uncertainty. After a while, the young NPC also came back to his senses, looked at Zarshan, and then said, "Since you defeated me, you can move on to the next level." At this level, his strength is even greater than us. Good luck to you. When the young NPC finished speaking, a teleportation channel suddenly appeared behind him. That is the transmission channel leading to the third level. Zarshan glanced at the young NPC, ignored him, and then walked towards the third level passage. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 197. Fast forward to the last level, the battle with young Kai. Although the upcoming battle isn't a big deal for Zarshan, it also consumes quite a bit of energy. Under the impact of his 6th full level Pokémon, he quickly leveled up continuously until he reached level 49. Alos, the young red-clothed NPC standing in front of Zarshan, stared blankly for a moment, then came back to his senses, shook his head with a wry smile, and said. He looked at Zarshan in astonishment. "I have to say, you are the strongest trainer I have ever seen besides him. It's been a long time since I saw such an amazing and talented trainer like you. I'm convinced that I lost this battle. Go through this passage and head to the end of this challenging place. He's waiting for you there, and I'm looking forward to meeting him." "Who is he?" Zarshan asked in confusion. "He's an extremely powerful trainer. It's no exaggeration to call him the strongest in history." But unfortunately, we don't know where he went in the end. We can only use a mysterious power to challenge him. At that time our strength is reproduced, the red armored young NPC explained. The strongest in history? Is it Master Kai? After hearing this, Zarshan was stunned for a moment, and then made a mental guess. After all, in his memory, the only one who could deserve the title of the strongest in history was Kai Yi. With this thought in his heart, Zarshan said goodbye to the young man in the red suit, and entered the end of the challenging land. The end of the challenge is at the top of Gale Valley. Impressive is the building, that looks like a stadium. When Zarshan saw this battle place, there was also a trace of surprise on his face. Unexpectedly, there was such a building above Gale Valley. Without thinking much, Zarshan went straight to the arena. At this moment, in the center of the arena, stood a young man wearing a red and white peaked cap, black short-sleeved shirts, a red jacket, and blue pants. On the boy's shoulder, there was an extremely cute Pikachu. It's indeed Mr. Kai. When Zarshan saw the young man standing on the field, there was also an excited look on his face. Akai's power is well known to everyone. He became the champion of the Kanto League just a year after his debut. I have to say that being able to compete with Kai on the same stage is an exciting moment. Although he had already heard the goalkeeper of the previous level say that this was not the real Kai, but just a recreated illusion. But Zarshan couldn't help but feel excited, and a fighting spirit surged out. The boy Kai-Han fiddled with the peaked cap on his head and his eyes fell on Zarshan, a smile on his face. "You're here, challenger." Zarshan couldn't completely suppress the fighting spirit in his heart at this moment and replied, "Yes, I'm here," on his face. Enthusiasm, fighting spirit, desire to win, challenger, I see in you all the things that an excellent trainer should have. Since you can defeat all the guardians of the palace and come here, you have fully demonstrated your strength. Use all your strength to fight me. Pikachu, go. As soon as the boy Chahan finished speaking, Pikachu jumped off his shoulder. Go down and come to the battlefield. The level of this Pikachu is very high, reaching level 90. It can be said that among all the NPCs Zarshan has encountered so far, the Pokémon has the highest level. Go, Pikachu. Zarshan's eyes flashed, and he also sent out his starter Pokémon. A white light flashed, and Summer Pikachu also appeared on the battlefield. I didn't expect you to have a Pikachu. After seeing the Pokémon released in summer, the young Kai-Han also had a surprised expression on his face. Zarshan smiled slightly and then said, "Pikachu, use 100,000 volts. Kai's Pikachu is very strong, and Zarshan wants to use Pikachu to compete. The reason why 100,000 volts is used at the beginning is to predict Kai's Pikachu's characteristics." I saw Zarshan's Pikachu scream, and then a golden electric light erupted from it, and bombarded Kai's Pikachu. Seeing this scene, there was no trace of panic on the red face. He smiled and said, "Pikachu, charge up and use Steel Tail." Hearing the order, the red Pikachu jumped up at high speed. When it was bombarded by 100,000 volts, the red Pikachu jumped up and then flicked its tail forcefully with a white light flashing. The 100,000 volt attack was split into two by the red Pikachu. What the heck, is it okay? When Zarshan saw this scene, his face was also filled with astonishment. It seems that Kai's Pikachu, even if it's not at the full level, is still ridiculously strong. Pikachu, go up to high speed and use Smash. Zarshan's Pikachu ran across the field and rushed towards Kai's Pikachu at lightning speed. Then, when he was about to get close, he turned around, raised his tail, and attacked Kai's Pikachu. Brush. Zarshan's Pikachu's attack made a breaking sound in the air and was about to hit Kai's Pikachu. However, at this moment, a smile suddenly appeared on the young man's red face and said, "Pikachu, use Sonic Punch." As the young man's red voice fell, a dazzling light burst out from Kai's small white Pikachu fist. Light, punch, the speed is extremely fast. Boom. The tail and fist intertwined fiercely, emitting a violent sound. The two Pikachus each took a few steps back. The blood volume has also dropped a lot. However, suddenly, a trace of electric arc appeared on Zarshan's Pikachu, and it seemed like it was in a state of paralysis. Good chance. Pikachu, move at high speed and use lightning. Young Chihun also took advantage of this opportunity and quickly called for Pikachu to attack. At the moment, when Zacian's Pikachu was at a standstill, Chi's Pikachu had already charged up and then hit Zacian's Pikachu hard. Being hit by Chi's Pikachu, Zacian's Pikachu flew backwards and rolled on the ground twice. Its health volume decreased a lot. However, Zacian's Pikachu was still healthy and had fighting ability, so it quickly got up from the ground. Does Chi's Pikachu have electrostatic properties? The lightning rod property is only effective against electrical abilities and has no resistance to properties. Therefore, it is normal for Pikachu to be paralyzed. However, this made Zacian frown. Although his Pikachu is 10 levels higher than Chi's Pikachu is a bit ridiculously strong and its physical attack has been maximized. It even needs to be taller than his Pikachu, otherwise, it wouldn't be able to cause such damage to Pikachu. However, there is no way to defeat it. After all, Kai's Pikachu does not have lightning rod characteristics and is immune to electrical abilities. Now that it has been deduced that Kai's Pikachu has electrostatic properties, he only needs to use special abilities. Thinking of this, Zacian's eyes flashed, and he quickly ordered, "Pikachu, Z move, tens of millions of volts." While saying that, Zacian also showed the Z bracelet on his left hand, which was emitting a dazzling light. With the blessing of the Z bracelet, Zacian Pikachu felt enormous power emerging from his body. Then, Zacian Pikachu's eyes fell on the opposite Pikachu, and the power of his entire body erupted like a volcano. The world-destroying lightning aura condensed and blasted towards the Pikachu on the opposite side. The million-volt attack came too quickly. Chi's Pikachu had just reacted and wanted to act, but the attacks were already coming one after another. In an instant, the terrifying and majestic electric light bombarded Chi's Pikachu, causing it to scream in pain. Subsequently, Chi's Pikachu's blood volume rapidly dropped at a speed visible to the naked eye. Soon, it dropped to a warning red line. "Challenger, your Pikachu is very strong." The young Chihun looked at himself panting, with a solemn expression on his face. Hearing this, Zacian also smiled and said, "It's my honor to be praised by you. Let's decide the outcome with one move." Pikachu, Volt Attack. The boy Chihun also nodded, and then shouted at Pikachu. Boom. In an instant, the two Pikachu figures collided fiercely. A violent sonic boom occurred, shaking the entire venue, followed by countless clouds of smoke and dust. After the smoke cleared, only one Pikachu was left standing on the field. It's Summer Pikachu. Chi's Pikachu's blood volume was emptied. It lost its fighting ability and fell to the ground. Zacian's Pikachu has less than 1/5 of its health left and can be defeated with a single move. But in the end, he won by a narrow margin. Chapter 198. All Out Battle. Fierce Battle. Challenger, your Pikachu is very strong. This is the first time my Pikachu has lost a battle. Young Chihun took Pikachu and looked at Zacian with a face full of astonishment. Your Pikachu is not bad either. If it weren't for a high level, I'm afraid I would be the loser. Zacian shook his head and said with a smile. To be honest, it's unbelievable that a level 90 Pikachu can fight his full level Pikachu to such an extent. Next, I'll send you out onto the field, Bulbasaur. Red took out the second Poké Ball and threw it out. With a flash of white light, a level 90 Bulbasaur appeared on the battlefield. Is it Bulbasaur? In that case, it's up to you. Go ahead, Lugia. If Gardevoir and Angela come onto the stage, Bulbasaur will suppress their attributes a little, and Kai's Bulbasaur is definitely not simple. It would be better to let Lugia, whose attributes restrict Bulbasaur, come onto the stage. A white light flashed, and Lugia's figure appeared on the battlefield. See God. Challenger, you really surprised me. A surprised expression appeared on the young man's red face. I won the last round, so I'll let you attack first in this round. Zacian said with a faint smile. In this case, I'm not polite. Although your attributes are restricted, my Bulbasaur is also very strong. Flying Leaf Blade. The young man's red eyes flashed, and he directly ordered. Okay. Bulbasaur roared, and from the huge flower on its body, it shot out a huge flying leaf and struck Lugia in the air. Two huge flying blades with a diameter of more than 1 meter quickly spun and flew towards Lugia. Lugia, Cyclone Attack. Cyclone Attack is Lugia's signature trick. It is also called Air Blast, and it is very powerful. Lugia, suspended in the air, flapped its wings and two violent cyclones surged out, turning into turbulent air currents and impacting towards the Bulbasaur flower on the ground. The two huge flying blades, swept by the strong cyclone, instantly lost their direction and were blown away by the air current. Biofrog, wait. When the young man saw this, he frowned and quickly ordered. When Bulbasaur heard the order, its entire body curled up, and even the huge petals on its back shrank. The entire body looked like a giant at this moment. The cyclone attack came and hit Bulbasaur, but it had no effect and Bulbasaur completely resisted it. When Zacian saw this situation, he raised his eyebrows slightly. He did not expect that Kai's Bulbasaur could maintain this kind of snake oil ability. However, it was only this time. However, at this moment, something unexpected happened. Lugia, who was originally suspended in the air, suddenly stiffened and his entire body fell from the air, landing heavily on the ground. What's going on? Zacian's complexion changed slightly, and he was filled with doubt. Suddenly, he saw Lugia's body covered with a light green powder. His eyelids twitched, and he was slightly surprised. Paralyzing powder? When did you use it? The young man smiled slightly and said, when Bulbasaur used the flying blade knife, it had already taken out the paralyzing powder. Although it was used by your Lugia, it exploded. It's really hard to prevent. Zacian was speechless when he heard this. He didn't expect it to be such a time. Bulbasaur, take this opportunity to use the parasitic seeds. Hearing the order, Bulbasaur stood up again, shot out several seeds from the huge petals, and shot towards Lugia. Soon, the parasitic seeds fell on Lugia's body and quickly took root. After a while, it took effect, and Lugia's blood volume also dropped a little. What a troublesome move. We must end the battle quickly. Zacian frowned, thought for a moment, and ordered, Lugia, meditate and then use Cyclone Attack. I closed my eyes and began to meditate. A faint light radiated from Lugia's body, and its special attack and special defense were also greatly improved. Then, Lugia flew into the air, flapped its huge wings, and launched two fierce cyclone attacks again. Bulbasaur, take root and then use Magic Leaf. Young Kaihan was not to be outdone, and ordered again. As the young man's red voice fell, Bulbasaur looked solemn, and then slammed the ground with all four paws, digging deep into the ground. Then, from the huge petals behind it, two huge leaves were thrown out, spinning at high speed, flying towards Lugia in the air. Boom. The attacks of the two Pokémons hit each other. Lugia was directly knocked back from the air, and along with the effect of the parasitic seeds, a lot of blood was also consumed. As for Bulbasaur, after being attacked by the cyclone, its blood volume instantly bottomed out, leaving only a trace of blood volume. But soon, it returned to 1/3 of the level. This is the effect of taking root and parasitic seeds. It's really difficult. Zacian was also a little helpless. Lugia, do it again. Cyclone Attack. Lugia heard the order and was about to fly into the air, but its body stiffened again. It was the effect of the paralyzing powder. When the young man saw this, his eyes lit up. Good chance. Biofrog, Sunshine Flame. Sunshine Flame is one of the best grass type moves. It is very powerful, but it takes a long time to gather energy. However, what is shocking is that the huge petals on the back of Bulbasaur quickly condensed energy, and then a golden beam of light erupted from the back of Bulbasaur and rushed towards Lugia. How is this possible? A surprised expression appeared on Zacian's face. Did it charge up so quickly? Lugia, take off quickly and avoid it. Zacian's expression changed slightly, and he quickly ordered. After hearing the order, Lugia flapped its wings and tried to soar into the sky, but it was still too late. Bulbasaur's scorching sun has arrived one after another. Boom. A powerful force erupted, and Lugia was knocked back again. After receiving this attack, Lugia's blood volume was instantly reduced by half, and was further affected by the effect of the parasitic seeds. Lugia's blood volume only had 1/3 left. Difficult. Zacian looked solemn. He originally thought that releasing Lugia would be a simple round, but he didn't expect that he would be beaten to such an extent. Judging from this situation, it is still unclear who will win. We must think of a countermeasure. Lugia, magic power. With a focused look, Zacian ordered again. Roar. Lugia's eyes burst into a dazzling light, and then a majestic spiritual power erupted out, instantly heading towards the Bulbasaur flower. Bulbasaur didn't react at all. Magical power surged out from the impact. It seemed as if it felt like the entire spiritual world was shattered by the impact. Bulbasaur's blood volume also rapidly decreased. Had it not been for the rooting skills and parasitic seeds to take a bite out of it, it would probably be on the verge of death. Bulbasaur, cheer up and use Petal Dance. The young man frowned and quickly ordered. Hearing the order, Bulbasaur roared and then used all its strength. Countless petals burst out from it, covering the entire battlefield. Lugia, the divine bird, strikes hard. When Zacian saw this, he also shouted. Lugia rose into the air, turned into a white light, and attacked Bulbasaur. Boom. The two Pokémon collided fiercely. Lugia's divine bird crashed into Bulbasaur, and was also attacked by Petal Dance. The fierce attack caused a violent explosion across the battlefield, and the smoke screen once again covered the figures of the two Pokémon. Both of them closely observed the situation on the battlefield. Soon after, the smoke cleared, and in their eyes, appeared two Pokémon that had lost the ability to fight. This round, a tie. Chai is really worthy of Chai. In the situation of reverse attributes, he can still tie with his own Pokémon. Go ahead and bite the land shark. The third Pokémon of the summer decided to bite the land shark. The boy in front, Kai Hong, also released his third Pokémon, which was a level 90 Kirby. Kirbyman is a general type Pokémon, and is generally very powerful. This is most likely the Kirby that blocks the way in the game. Bite Land Shark does not restrict Kirby in terms of attributes. In this case, this round is still relatively difficult to defeat. The third round of the battle begins soon. Chapter 199 Strong Confrontation, Fierce Battle. Fiercely bite the land shark, Sandstorm. Zacian's eyes flashed, and he took the lead in giving the order. After hearing Zacian's order, bite land shark roared, and then a sandstorm force under his control filled the entire place in an instant. Kirby was hit by the sandstorm. His face suddenly showed a pained expression, and his blood volume decreased a little. Although the sandstorm didn't seem like a big deal, he still felt a little pain when it hit him. Seeing this, the young Kaihan frowned and said, Kabiman, charge, then rush over, and use freeze punch. The charge skill is to increase one's own defense and special defense. It can resist the effects of sandstorms. On the other hand, it resists the powerful power of the fierce land shark and dragon type skills. Kirbyman let out a gulp, and a faint light appeared all over his body. He was accumulating his own strength and secretly improving his defense and special defense. At the same time, its huge body began to run and its feet stomped on the ground, causing the ground to tremble. Not to mention, although Kai's Kirby looked huge in size, its speed did not slow down at all, and quickly arrived in front of biting land shark. Is it that fast? A flash of surprise flashed across Zacian's eyes, and he quickly ordered bite land shark, dig a hole. Roar. Bite land shark roared, stretched out its sharp claws, and punched the ground directly. It began to be dug out, and within a few breaths it was pierced into the ground. Naturally, Kirbyman's icy punch failed. Not a bad way to deal with it. In this way, not only did you avoid Kirby's attack, but you also missed your target. It also reversed the situation and became proactive. The young man's face reddened. Then he said, Kirbyman, focus your attention, and pay attention to the biting land shark's attack. Hearing Chihung's words, Kirbyman's expression became solemn, and he listened attentively to the ground. The sound came. However, since the sandstorm covered the entire battlefield, it caused a lot of interference to Kirbyman. At the same time, the biting land shark kept moving underground. On the one hand, it prevented Kirby from finding its attack position. On the other hand, it was accumulating strength and waiting for an opportunity to attack. The Kirby on the ground was always paying attention to what was happening underground. The violent sandstorm hit it, making it show a painful expression. However, at this moment, something unexpected happened. The fierce attack of the land shark is coming. I saw it stretching out its sharp claws, rising towards the ground below the Kirby beast, and bursting out of the ground in an instant. Then, the claws of the biting land shark hit Kirby's lower body hard. Kirbyman, who was originally hit by the sandstorm, was distracted, but the biting land shark took this opportunity to attack, making Kirbyman unable to escape. Kirby's fur immediately exploded after receiving this attack, and his entire huge body jumped up. It hurt a lot. At the same time, Kirbyman's blood volume has also decreased a lot, leaving 2/3. Good opportunity. Take advantage of his illness to kill him. Bite the land shark hard and cut him twice in a row. Zacian's eyes flashed. He seized this opportunity and quickly gave orders to the land shark. Hearing the order, the eyes of the biting land shark flashed with a sharp light, and then he extended his claws again, wrapped in purple energy, and slashed hard at the Kirby beast. Kirbyman, hold on. The young man's red face changed slightly, and he quickly ordered boom. The sharp claws of the biting land shark slashed hard at the Kirby beast's body, causing it to show a painful expression and suffer a lot of damage. Kirby's blood volume was reduced by 1/3. If it weren't for the charge, Kirby would have suffered even more damage. However, just as Bite Land Shark was about to perform the second wave of slashes, he was shocked to find that his claws couldn't move. I saw that Kirby had already grabbed Bite Land Shark's claws when he was hit by Bite Land Shark's attack. Good chance, Kirbyman. Inflate your belly and then use the freeze punch. Seeing this situation, the young Chihun showed a smile on his face and quickly said to Kirbyman, Kirby. Kirby roared and then took a deep breath. As his blood volume decreased, Kirby's attack also increased significantly. Immediately afterwards, Kirbyman raised his fist wrapped in the power of ice and suddenly punched the land shark. That was very close. This punch was fierce and extremely cold. Bite Lu Shark felt the extremely cold power and shivered all over. It has dragon attributes and is restricted by 4 times by ice attributes. Seeing this situation, Zacian also secretly thought something bad. He didn't expect that this Kirby beast would actually catch the biting land shark. Bite land shark, use reverse scale. If bite land shark is hit by the frozen fist, it will definitely be uncomfortable and the blood volume may drop to a low point. In this case, it is better to try it. After all, Kirbyman's health is running out. Roar. Bite Lu Shark roared. His eyes darkened with a layer of crimson, and his entire aura suddenly became violent. Immediately afterwards, Bite Land Shark also extended his sharp claws. Kirbyman's frozen fist hit Bite Land Shark's body hard, causing Bite Land Shark's blood volume to drop rapidly and soon reached a dangerous value. However, biting land shark seemed to feel no pain and attacked Kirby savagely, as if it was a threat to its life. In an instant, there were bursts of explosions on the battlefield. After a while, there was only one Pokémon standing on the field. It's a land shark that bites hard. Kirbyman, on the other hand, had fallen on the field and lost its ability to fight. It's very exciting. I haven't experienced such a battle in a long time. I feel like I've returned to when I was fighting them. Although Kirbyman fell, the boy's red face was not disappointed, but full of fighting spirit. It's an exciting feeling. You're not bad either. Zacian said with a smile, taking advantage of this moment to take back biting land shark. Bite Land Shark was attacked by Kirby just now, and its blood volume has reached a dangerous level. Even if it can fight again, it may not be able to defeat Kai's next Pokémon. In this case, it's best to replace the Pokémon as soon as possible. Go, Bangla. Zacian replaced Bangla. Then the decision is yours. Go ahead. Water Arrow Turtle. Young Chihun also threw the Pokémon Ball. 2 huge Pokémon burst out of the Pokémon Ball and appeared on the battlefield. The Water Arrow Turtle stands on the battlefield with the 2 metal cannons on its back displaying extraordinary power. After Banjira appeared in the summer, a sandstorm immediately erupted on the spot. Is it Yangsha's characteristic? Seeing this, the young man's red eyebrows also raised, and his face became a little solemn. Blasto eyes, water cannon. The young man narrowed his red eyes to prevent sand from entering. He waved his right hand and gave the order to Blasto eyes. Water cannon is one of the powerful skills of the water system. Although the attack speed is not very fast, the damage is extremely high. It is relatively easy to hit a heavy Pokémon like Bangara. Because the opponent's size is very large, it is not easy to avoid. Moreover, in terms of attributes, it is also restricted by the water arrow turtle. The two metal cannons behind the Blasto eyes aimed at Bangara and then released a powerful jet of water. Bangala, the wave of evil. Zacian ordered. A flash of light flashed in Bangara's eyes, and then he opened his mouth and fired a dark purple wave of evil from his mouth, bombarding the oncoming water cannon. Boom. The two main skills collided, producing a huge muffled sound, and then reached a stalemate. However, it soon became clear that the water cannon was slowly suppressing the evil fluctuations. Soon, Bangala will probably be hit by a water cannon. The power of the evil wave is much weaker than that of the water cannon, so it is normal that it cannot be resisted. This is not the way to go. Bangara, abandon the wave of evil and use the light of death of destruction. Zacian saw that Bangara was gradually being suppressed and knew in his heart that if this continued, Bangara would definitely be hit by water cannons, and Bangara would probably not feel comfortable either. Making a decisive decision, Zacian immediately stopped using waves of evil and let Bangara use more powerful skills to suppress him. When Bangara heard the order, he immediately abandoned the wave of evil. Without Bangala's energy, the wave of evil was quickly dispersed by the water cannon. Chapter 200 Super Type Showdown, the final round. However, soon, an orange energy wave condensed in Bangala's mouth, then shot out, and then collided with the water cannon that was shot out. This time the collision of skills did not last long. The water cannon was suppressed by the destruction and death light. The water arrow turtle had no time to dodge and was directly hit by the destructive death light. Boom. There was a huge explosion, and the water arrow turtle was directly blasted into the wall outside the venue, leaving a huge crater. Blasto eyes, are you okay? Young Kaihan was also a little surprised. He didn't expect Bangara's destructive death light to be so powerful, and he instantly suppressed the water arrow turtle's water cannon. Kami. The water arrow turtle shook its head, broke away from the stone that was stuck to its body, stood up from the barrier, and returned to the field. The water arrow turtle panted heavily and stared at Bangara not far away, with a solemn expression on its face. Although the destructive light of death just hit it and caused a lot of damage, but this only reduced its blood volume by half and it still had room to fight back. Water arrow turtle, water wave. Seeing the water arrow turtle returning to the field again, the young Chahan breathed a sigh of relief and then ordered. After Bangara uses the destructive death ray, there will be a moment of stalemate. Although it is brief, it is enough for the water arrow turtle to attack. The water arrow turtle closed its hands in front of it, and a water ball composed of water whirlpools appeared in front of it. Then, the water arrow turtle pushed hard and the water ball bombarded towards Bangara. Bangara, put it down, do it again, destroy it to death. Zacian directly ordered with a stern look on his face. Bangara looked at the oncoming water fluctuations without any fear in his eyes. He raised his head and roared, then opened his mouth, and a ball of golden light condensed in his mouth. In a very short moment, the destructive light of death condensed, and then Bangara released a light that seemed to destroy everything towards the water fluctuations. Boom. After the destructive light of death collided with the water wave, a huge explosion occurred. The water wave was directly defeated by the destruction and death light, and continued to shoot towards the water arrow turtle at an extremely fast speed. While the water arrow turtle was stunned, the destructive and deadly rays were already coming one after another, and then they hit the water arrow turtle hard. The destructive death light struck the water arrow turtle, causing a loud explosion. The water arrow turtle screamed and was shocked. When young Kaihan saw the water arrow turtle being struck, he did not show any worry on his face. Although the destructive death ray is strong enough to render the water arrow turtle unable to fight back, the water arrow turtle carries a health recovery item. The water arrow turtle's HP was completely knocked down by the destruction and death light, but it recovered a little instantly. Even if it's just a tiny bit, it's enough for Blastoise to fight back. Its health has actually returned. Did you bring any accessories? Zacian saw a trace of surprise on his face when he saw that the water arrow turtle's health had recovered. Blastoise, take advantage of the fact that the opponent is still stiff. Use the water cannon with maximum strength. Blastoise quickly perked up after hearing the order, and the 2 water cannons behind him were aimed at Ben, who was in a stiff state. Using all his strength, he used the powerful water cannon skill. The water cannon directly hit Bangula, who was frozen, causing great damage to him. Bangula was directly pushed back by the power of the water cannon to a certain distance, and his health volume was reduced by about 2/3. In this situation, the battle can end. Bangula, use Earthquake. Seeing this, Zacian quickly ordered. Bangula recovered from the stiff state, heard the order, raised his left foot, and stomped hard on the ground. An invisible wave was emitted from Bangula's feet, and then began to spread to the surroundings. Boom. As if hit by a terrifying force, the entire site began to tremble violently and crack rapidly. The earthquake quickly spread towards the water arrow turtle. Attacked by the earthquake wave, the water arrow turtle's blood volume was directly emptied, and then it lost its fighting ability and fell to the ground. Young Chiheng exhaled deeply and then took back the water arrow turtle. His eyes fell on Zacian and said, "Your Bangula is very strong, much stronger than the Bangula that I have been rivaling since childhood." Zacian said with a smile. Young Chiheng took out a Pokémon again and threw it onto the field. There was a flash of white light and a level 90 Sun Pokémon appeared on the field. Sun Ibrahimovic? With a faint smile on his face, Zacian took back Bangura and then released the next Pokémon, Gardevoir. Next, it's a superpower confrontation. Gardevoir, use mental strength. Gardevoir, hearing Zacian's order, Gardevoir shouted, and then its eyes bloomed with a blue light, and a majestic force of thought surged out, covering the entire battlefield in an instant. In that case, let's come to Sunny V with a strong mind. The young man Chiheng smiled lightly and also ordered. Similarly, a turbulent mental wave surged out, filling the entire battlefield. At this moment, 2 spiritual forces are intertwined on the battlefield. Boom. The spiritual worlds of the 2 Pokémons were violently impacted, as if they were about to break apart. Gardevoir's blood volume directly dropped to only 1/3, while Sunny V's blood volume was only 1/4. Overall, Gardevoir is much more powerful. Seeing this situation, the young man's red eyebrows suddenly frowned. It would not be good if the situation continued. If there is another collision, Sun Ibrahimovic might lose his ability to fight. Gardevoir, one more shot, strong energy. Zacian continued to command. Sunny V, come on too, be strong. The young man's red eyes flashed, and he also commanded. Boom. The 2 Pokémon's mental powers collided again, and they were about to lose their ability to fight. However, at this moment, the young man Chiheng spoke. Sunny V, wait. Gardevoir and Sunny V's blood volume dropped rapidly, and they were about to be emptied, but Sunny V's blood volume was still there. At the last drop, it stopped. Gardevoir's health hit rock bottom, and it lost its ability to fight. I didn't expect to be tricked. Seeing this situation, Zacian showed a wry smile. However, looking at Sun Ibrahimovic with the last drop of blood remaining, Zacian released the biting land shark again. Soon, under the attack of the biting land shark, Sunny V lost its ability to fight and fell to the field. Come back, Sunny V. Young Kaihan retrieved the Sunny V. Now he only has the last Pokémon left. This Pokémon was his first partner and his strongest ace Pokémon. From the beginning of the journey, they have followed each other until now. The bond between them is very deep. Young Chiheng took a deep breath, looked at Zacian, and said, "Challenger, you are the strongest trainer I have ever seen. The next Pokémon is my first partner. Its strength is very strong. I will use my strongest strength to fight you. Are you ready?" Zacian nodded, then retrieved the land shark that was biting on the field, and said with a smile, "When you are ready, I will use all my strength." Seeing this, young Chiheng nodded, and then threw out the Pokémon ball in his hand. The Pokémon bolt raced an arc in the air, a burst of white light flashed, and a strong fire-breathing dragon appeared on the field. This fire-breathing dragon is indeed Kai's strongest partner, and its level has reached level 95. Charizard Zacian looked at Charizard on the field, his eyes shining. In that case, let's go to Charizard. The decision is yours. Zacian also eliminated the last Pokémon in the lineup, Charizard. Roar. The fire-breathing dragon roared as soon as it appeared. The young man's fire-breathing dragon's red eyes also stared at Zacian's fire-breathing dragon, with a strong fighting spirit surging from his eyes. Zacian's Charizard also noticed this gaze. His face condensed, sensing the breath of the opposite Charizard, calmly, and a fighting spirit surged in his heart. This fire-breathing dragon is very strong, although the level is lower than it. However, its strength is not much inferior to it war. The eyes of the two fire-breathing dragons intertwined, causing intense sparks. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.